Good evening, everybody. This is Dave Robinson, the father of geologist Daniel Robinson. Thank you again, you guys. I really appreciate those who is coming here on the prime time to hear what I have to say about my son's case. What we'll be talking about tonight is, for of course, I'm going to start off this time what happened on June the 23rd, the reasons why I ended up in Arizona, and what I'm doing currently. Also, I will be talking about the mail-in protest, you guys. That is something that is still going. I understand you guys know about the new uh, 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 police report that has been put out. And, I understand you guys may have been trying to go through some of those things, but I am going forward with this mail-in protest, you guys, because of you, and because you guys have been participating in the searches, in the calls, in the letter writings, in the sending out, help me pass out flyers and etc. Everything you guys have been doing have gotten us to this point. I'm telling you, your movement, this grassroots movement, is a powerhouse that has been working. You guys, whether people in government, to local officials, to the mayors, to chiefs of police, also into the sheriff's office. All this movement became because you guys have collectively have been working very hard. I want to say up front as well, I'm looking at the screen and I am devastated that I have lately been having a lot of bandwidth problems with this internet. I come on here every time. One time ago, the internet was working very well. I almost think I need to get a different provider. I've been trying everything I can to try to straighten this out, you guys. I really want to get this thing taken care of before what I will talk about next is the Unity Candlelight Vigil for Daniel. And I want to make sure this bandwidth is working very well, and mainly because I will have families on. I will have other people on the panel that will be talking. So what I'm trying to do for the Unity thing is I'll be talking about that when we come back from on the other end. Also, I'll be touching a little bit again, like I did this morning, on that police report. So, you guys, if you're here, just be prepared for that. Some of you that came this morning, we may hear some of the same things I spoke about when it comes to concern of this new police report. I call it a new police report because there's many. Buckeye Police released at least four different police reports. It says the same, but I can tell you guys, I can show you some differences. But the thing is, I'm not here to bash law enforcement. We'll try to make them look bad. I'm just pointing out the things that's been harmful to guys. Again, this whole thing, justice for Daniel, you see right here under me, behind me. That's what I'm looking for. Nothing else matters. It's about my son. I'm a father, and I have to do what fathers do, and that is to protect my son and make sure that he get those justice. So those things, what we're doing, we'll be talking about how you guys can help to continue to get Daniel's case moved over to the Maricopa County Sheriffs, who, I'm willing, I'm ready to be able to trust a department that I can actually work with and not have them work against me. Or feel like they're working against me. So the thing is, that's one of the biggest highlights of this whole thing. When we get Daniel's case moved over, I really feel I met Sheriff in Zone. I really feel I have direct conversation with him as well. Like I told you guys before on this channel, I thought of him as a man of integrity. He's the first law enforcement official who actually gave his condolences. It's almost like what he did when he took me outside. Again, you guys, he almost like he took his rank off his chest and became an ordinary person and say, look, hey, look, my condolences family. He gonna try to do everything he can to help. So I'm holding him to his word, you guys. And when I say things about the Maricopa County and wanting them to work hard, like I say again, guys, I don't care about feelings about you as a person, but at the end of the day, the bottom line is getting justice for my son. And if I see the department is moving slowly and not doing, yes, I'm going to in the realities of what's happening. So to get into everything right now, I'm getting ready to go, and I'll see you guys on the other end, and we'll talk about those things. Thank you.
Daniel Robinson went missing 4 months ago. This is the last photo his family has of him. He's a 24-year-old geologist, last seen leaving his job site in Buckeye, Arizona.
As the Gabby Petito homicide case garners national attention, another young person has been missing for nearly 3 months, and his family is desperate to find him. 24-year-old Daniel Robinson, a geologist, was last seen on the morning of June 23rd, leaving his work site in the desert of Buckeye, Arizona.
David Robinson had only one thought on his mind as he drove the nearly 1,800 miles from his South Carolina home to Phoenix.
I had to find my son, and I'm currently searching for him. Thank you guys for coming in this evening. I'm David Robinson, the father of geologist Daniel Robinson. I'm here to talk about my son's case. Thank you, like I said again, for just being a part of this evening's live. I'm trying to make sure you guys understand at the beginning. I said that up front for those who just coming in. I'm trying to fix this bandwidth problem I've been having for a while now. The feed sometimes may be slow. The movements in may be slow as well. If anybody see anything, can't hear me, or have any other issues, please let me know in the chats. I will be watching the chats from time to time to make sure, because, like I said, we got the Candlelight Vigil that's coming up, and I want to make sure everything is in working order. So I will be also working in the background to get my internet provider to do well. I may have to exchange internet providers, but I definitely will be working to get those things taken care of. Again, you guys, thank you for coming in. I'm Dave Robinson, father geologist Daniel Robinson. From high school and raised came out of high school to go to the College of Charleston and major in the field of geology. Daniel fell in love that field, and went out to pursue his career. He's graduated with honors. You guys. Okay, we took everything out to Arizona, Phoenix, Arizona, where he landed his first job in life with a company called Matrix New World. It's also called Matrix Southwest Groundwater, where Daniel got hired on with them as a field geologist, also called a hydrogeologist. What he does, he goes out to various well sites all across Arizona, well as well sites to just to test these two projects, just to make sure these groundwaters are producing at least 100 years of water. And that's something that is required by law in Arizona. If before a community can be built, it has to sustain that community. That's the reason why they have those wells. And so Daniel's job is very important. The company is very important. They test those waters also to make sure they're drinkable. So yes, definitely, guys, I'm telling you, it's a very important job. So as you guys know, that project, the place where Daniel was working on the 23rd, that area was deemed not able to sustain the community. That area do not produce enough water for that community built, but they are going forward with it anyway. That's one thing that would have came out of a report from Daniel doing his job from the Matrix New World, doing his job to say, hey, this community cannot sustain water. From what I understand, I could be wrong. I believe the former governor of the state did not release that report. And finally, the new governor came in, found the report, and released it to the public. That's the reason why we know there's some issues with groundwater. You hear all the time, you guys, on CNN and some of these other channels where they always speak about the water war, in a sense, to me, that they're having with Colorado and California and so on, and Arizona, about this groundwater, this water shortages. And they have a lot of water shortages. Phoenix, for example, will be having some of those issues as well. So like I said, it's hard to build a new community when those groundwaters flow and they have to recharge themselves. It takes a simple time. That's the reason why there's 100 years of recharging, of water had to sustain before the recharging. So be able to help communities thrive. So again, job very important. He was doing that on the 23rd, going to two well sites. As you guys know, one other person, the second well site where the problem came, he went out to meet a worker named Ken, who works for a company called Weber Waterworks. Of course, the story is my son had to meet him out on Sun Valley Parkway to try to figure out how to get to this well site. According to Ken, they met on that roadway, and my son ended up following him into that into that desert, and get to that well site. Once they arrived to that well site in the desert, roughly around 9 o'clock that morning, he said, is at 9 o'clock, and they had a conversation about the weather and so on. By 9:15, Daniel was gone. He said Daniel waved off to him, drove off to never be seen again. As you guys know, nearly 30 days later, the vehicle showed up about 4 miles, 3 to 4 miles away from that well site, and it was turned over in a 20-foot ravine. Um, the storyline is trying to get answers to what really happened that day. The indication that I have gotten from my investigator is that the vehicle was staged there, you guys. There's information and physical evidence of actually looking at the vehicle that suggests that the red transfer paint, for instance, and the damage not matching the terrain. This is an examination that was physically done by measurements, putting the vehicle up on a ramp, up on a lift, and looking at these damages firsthand. It wasn't secondhand contact with the vehicle. The Buckeye Police Department, of course, you guys, I want to bring that up, had a secondhand, third party information about the vehicle. Third party investigator looked at the pictures, didn't look at the vehicle, didn't do any measurements of the vehicle, but look at pictures and made a opinion about what happened, what the damages came from based on pictures, the same pictures you guys I've showed you guys that Buckeye Police Department have. As you guys know, I told you guys this before. Depth perception on pictures can really throw things off. I use that as an example of one of the content creators was looking at some pictures that I put up from Mr. McGrath examining Daniel's vehicle. And then he says, hey, look here, I don't think it's the same vehicle because in this picture, you can see the red transfer pay, but in this picture, you do not. And then I had to let the person know that no, it's because of the pictures. It was because of the pictures. Because if you look at it from a different angle, you can see that red transfer paint. You couldn't notice the folding of the vehicle, why it folded that way, and the red transfer paint really is hidden behind a fold. But on different angles of a picture, it looks like it's going flat across the end of that vehicle. So again, that is to me is a flawed investigation from a so-called expert that would look at pictures and never ask to look at the vehicle and examine the vehicle, but look at pictures and make a determination of what happened at a scene based on pictures and not by physical evidence. So again, you got to throw it out the window. We go to court with that, throw it out the window. Whatever this investigator says doesn't matter. It goes out the window. So I don't need my son's case handled that way, you guys. I can go on and on how things are being done sloppily. Some may have some investigators may have the best intentions, but things weren't done correctly. So as you guys know, I won't go too far into that. I just want to give you an outline of where we're at. You guys know I had traveled over 2,000 miles to get to Arizona based on the initial non-action of the law enforcement that told me that they was not going to look for Daniel because he's a grown man. If he want to disappear, he can. That was an assumption. Daniel didn't ever tell him that. I didn't tell him. No family tell him he wanted to disappear. But that was an assumption that the Buckeye Police Department made that caused me to leave my home because I recognized they wasn't going to look for Daniel. It took my auntie to call from Pennsylvania to force them to something I still haven't validated. Guys, I'm still waiting that request I put in with the Phoenix Fire and Rescue and also the police department. They said to date they have not found records of this flight ever happening, but nevertheless, it's in the Buckeye Police Department that this Phoenix Firebird was sent in the air after my auntie forcibly asked them to put that out there. So whatever she said, they say they did so. I don't know if they said all of that just to make us feel good like they was going to look for Daniel. But whatever the case may be, we're still waiting on reports that actually happened. So we can go with the report that says it happened, but there's no evidence of this flight ever happening, you guys, other than Buckeye's word on a piece of paper. So again, you guys, I will be looking into that part of it, especially because that's the thing I'm saying, guys. Even if the story is true that the Phoenix Firebird helicopter went out there, they waited almost 3 days to go out in that desert look for Daniel. I know you guys can see on this new report how they're I told you guys they play a lot of word games. I'm sure it's been crafted very good by their city attorney. But the word games that I see is that, hey, this officer did this, and these officers did it again. I talked to Officer Cruz. I have these recordings. They told me verbatim when they say, "Hey, we're going to look for your son in the area." They was talking about up and down Sun Valley Parkway, which is a long word. They actually used those words to me. That was the first time I ever heard of Sun Valley Parkway. Up to that point, I always heard of White Tank Mountains. So when they told me that, I understood. They said it was going on up and down in the area of Sun Valley Parkway to see if he's stuck on the side of the road. They never did go in the desert, and the reason why I know that because I asked Officer Cruz to go out in the desert. Once I found out that Daniel was missing out there in the desert, I immediately said, "Hey," I called him back. "Hey, I found out my son is not on the road. He's in this desert. I need you guys to go out there and search for him." He told me they couldn't do it because it's nighttime. Told me it was nighttime, asked for a helicopter to go out. Can y'all send a helicopter to fly over that area, that dark area, to look for my son? No, because it's nighttime. We could do it in the morning. So those are the things that was told to me by the officer who was in charge that night in charge of Daniel's case, and waiting on the next officer that was coming in the morning who was taking over from that point. That officer, I remember Haley. I don't know how they got this other person, Thatcher, and things on the report, but I remember Haley, and that's how he identified himself to me. And this officer told me they would have a helicopter search out there. I was relieved that they finally gonna do it. I didn't sleep that whole night, pacing the floor. Then they called me again, and he said, "Well, this flight has been unauthorized. It's been canceled, been unauthorized because his higher up." He was almost like he was telling me, "Hey, it ain't my fault. My higher ups unauthorized because they say he's a grown man. If he want to disappear on his own, he can." That right there, you guys, that right there is what I'm saying is what caused me to hit that road really hard, you guys. So that's what I'm saying. If I didn't hit the road that hard for nothing. So these things actually happened. That was the negligence of the Buckeye Police Department. When I start looking at things from there, from the point of trying to urgently at the beginning, trying to get this cell phone pings and sort of things, that's when I noticed that things have been moving very slowly. So those are the arguments I've been having from then on. I understand this new report is crashing all of the stuff and trying to squeeze it in a small timeline. Those things have to be verified. And they definitely, once I get these recordings out to you guys, they're going to have to validate that by timeline according to what they said out their own mouth, as well in conversations on the cell phone. You cannot erase things you said and the timeline. And I guarantee you guys, stuff you see in the timeline with the Buckeye Police Department is going to be way off. It's going to be way off, and you can understand the way they crafted this thing. Maybe somebody who had no action to it crafted these things, had officers to write things after the fact to make it appear that they did a whole lot of efforts at the beginning, which they had not. So again, things don't change. What I'll say when I show y'all this report again, like I did this morning, things do not just change on a report. You call a supplementary report. That's things you add on as you go into progress, and some things that you didn't put in, you add those as supplementary. But you does not change things to make it fit a narrative. So I could show y'all the difference between two reports. How one report says this, and this paragraph, and this whole paragraph changed to say this now, to make things go into a certain narrative. So again, we'll be deep diving in that. I just don't have time. You guys know this morning I was actually working off of 1 hour of sleep. I can't tell you. I'll tell you some good things that happened this morning, and this evening. I don't know what time. Well, after afternoon when I got up. What I ended up doing is I got off of this live. I had did one more interview, and then I took a short nap for about 4 hours. Very good nap, you guys. The blessing thing that came, and I will share this with the public. I'm sure he doesn't mind. But I received a phone call from an unidentified number. I didn't know what it was. And when I answered the phone, or I called it back. The person didn't answer the phone, but the person ended up calling me back immediately. And he said, "Hello, Mr. Rob." He said, "Hello, Mr. Robinson," like he know me. And I'm like, first of all, who has my phone number? But I looked at the phone, and he said, "I'm Joseph Petito," right? And so the name sounded, it hit me hard faster, but I thought it was like it could be anything, but he said Gabby Petito's father. And you know what? I've been trying to reach out to him for a long time, and he was able to get my number from News Nation. I'm really happy about that. You know, you guys have been trying to talk to Mr. Petito for a while. He and I had a good long conversation, at least about 40-minute conversation. We went really well, you guys. And that was one of the highlights of the day, to be able to say something to a person that I've been wanting to say a long time. When I first heard about Gabby Petito case, I was so engrafting and so engrossed into my son's case and try to get it off the ground and get it on a national stage. And as well as I'm just working really hard, you guys. So I didn't really know what was going on in the public, and people in social media started hitting me up and say, "Hey, have you seen this case?" And trying to put it out to me, and I haven't. But then when I looked at it, ended up peeking at it because a family member asked me about the same thing, and I thought it was ironic. I looked at it and I saw a young lady. All I remember, I think she was 26 at the time, or somewhere around my son's age. And I was really devastated because in this country, there's a lot of young people that goes missing. So that's what I saw it initially. Then some of the family, no, 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 this thing is 24 hours. And I was thinking about how I was really working very hard. I expressed this stuff to Mr. Petito today, and working very hard. It took 3 months, you guys, to get Daniel's case over to it. I mean, like no sleep. I literally I was up all night hitting up people. That's how I was able to get Joy Reid, for instance, off MSNBC, is because I sent out. I've been emailing. I couldn't get them because they have inboxes on Twitter where you can't directly email or inbox them. So what I have been doing, I look for everybody who didn't have the blue symbol check mark on there, who they're following. Okay, who they're following, the ones that do not have the blue check. Those are ordinary people, right? And when they're ordinary people, that can be family members or friends. And sure enough, one of her friends was able to bring Daniel's case there. But they had this, me and him was talking about the first thing she said about white woman syndrome, and how that really hit people when they first heard that. And the realities of white woman syndrome is out there. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to media coverage and things like that. So, make a long story short, I think the conversation went very well, you guys. He's willing also to come on as a panelist on the 23rd. You guys, for the candidate for the Unity Candlelight Vigil. So you be looking out for that as well, for him to be joining in there. Also, I'm trying to get other families. You guys, if you guys have any missing loved ones and you want to be a part of the panel, I definitely want you there on that day, because the Unity Candlelight Vigil is for that purpose. Is to get everybody who's been supporting my efforts to find Daniel, and more people. So I'm asking you guys to really share, and more people to come in on and share and do this Candlelight Vigil virtually. Take your pictures on the hashtag and all that stuff, because they're gonna bring a lot of attention to this event. And the families that will be on the lives that I'll be doing that whole entire day, off and on, these families' stories can get out, because you guys will be watching and you guys hopefully be sharing these loved ones' stories. So that's the way I'm planning to be able to put not just Daniel's story out, but put out other families and get their stories out there. So if you guys can help me with that, I truly appreciate it. You guys, this is a grassroots movement, and and I need each and every last one of you. My team and we're working very hard on things like this to make sure that we're providing for other families as well. Again, you guys, I'm going to go ahead and start this. What I did this morning, pretty much the same thing, you guys. There's nothing too different. Again, yeah, I see the freeze up already on I guess that's the YouTube side. The YouTube side seems like they're having a lot of feedback or freezing up and things like that. But I'm gonna go with these. Again, I'm starting with the Unity conference, this Unity Candlelight Vigil first. That's what I was talking about, you guys. It's gonna be on June 23rd, 2023. And it's an all-day event. It's a virtual event, you guys. The location is remote, meaning that you guys are doing it from your home. I would not have a physical place like I did the Candlelight Visual for Daniel the first year. It won't be in Phoenix or at a location of things, but like I said, you guys are doing it from your home, from wherever you're at. And I would like for you guys to utilize the hashtag Unity Candlelight Visual and let me put that on the screen. So I need to put that banner up so that you guys can see that hashtag that I would like to see on there, you guys. And we can have the same hashtag. So the hashtag is going to be Unity, okay, NITY, Unity Candlelight Visual. So just make sure you capitalize the first word, so they can separate. That helps as well for people to understand what we're doing. And hold on a second. I probably should have did this before. If I have this wrong, you guys can correct me on it. But this is what I'm going to have right here. This is the banner, you guys, and this is going to be the hashtag. And you guys can start sharing this hashtag now. It'd be very helpful to what we're doing. So the hashtag is going to be Unity Candlelight Vigil, and it's going to be for Daniel, for Geologist Daniel Robinson, but we're not adding for that part of the. It's going to be Unity Candlelight Vigil. So if you guys can share that, I'm saying share it on your social medias now, platforms now, so we could get that hashtag moving. This is the same hashtag you guys would be tagging on when you're sharing your pictures on your social media platforms. Utilize that hashtag, and I can be able to pick those things up and share it on the event as well as times afterwards. So, but we definitely almost if you guys have participated in the Hype for Daniel, it's pretty much the same thing. You're doing things from home and taking these pictures. But I hope you guys have time. That's why I'm doing this series of different lives on that day, because some people on the East Coast, some people in Midwest, some people Central, and some people on the mountain in Pacific time. And I want to be able to help everybody to be able to be a part and see some type of live based on your own time zone, and that way everybody can be participating in this thing together. Unity, meaning to bring us together, is bringing those who do not have missing loved ones with the ones that do, and we can work together in unity to get these because one thing, if you guys remember, Miss Nunez and I were talking on this channel before, and she expressed how one of the things is hard is being in pain and grieving your loved one, and then at the same time you have to work very hard to try to keep that person's, your loved one's name out there. It's hard. People start losing interest. Media start losing interest. Thank God they starting to ask me for interviews now, but it's hard to come by, you guys. Those things, keeping things in that public eye, is hard to come by. So we need each other. We need each other in the community. It's a grassroots thing, like I said. It's a community thing. So we need each other to help make sure these stories don't go cold. Ms. Nunez, her daughter Jessica Navarro, uh, that case is far from being cold, you guys. Far from it. So much evidence and things that need to be explored. I know she, on her behalf, she said law enforcement are doing their job and actually looking. So we want to still make sure that we are helping doing our part by getting her story out there, because that'll help law enforcement get that one person or a person that may know something. Likewise, in Daniel Robinson case, same thing. Get it out there. That one person that you're sharing to, you're unaware just by sharing, may know something, and then you guys can help solve that case. So again, the hashtag is Unity Candlelight Visual. If you guys can start utilizing that now, that will help what we're doing. Also, I will be going into the comment section, because I want to. Again, I tried to do this morning. Going really far from being able to do it, but I want to do it this evening, and just tell a few of you all thank you for being here. If you guys have any questions and stuff, please don't forget to put the capital letter Q, the question mark, and the word question before your question. That way I can identify, because I'm going to come down, just get a few people to say hello to. I'm saying hello to all of you right now. Thanks so much for being here. I'll try to make sure I put your comments and things on the screen. But for right now, I'm just going to say hello to a few people, because I have a couple of things I want to talk about. And also, when I come back, I will be going down to look for questions. If you guys have it, put the capital letter Q there first, followed by your question, or a question mark followed by your question, or the word question itself followed by your question. That way I can identify it again. So in the comment section, let me see, go back here to this banners, because I want to take this off the screen for right now. But in this comment section, you guys, I want to say, first of all, thank you, Aaron Chase, for being here this evening. I truly appreciate you. I think I put you up on the screen. Also, little Miss Sunshine. I'll come back to you, Aaron. Somehow I didn't push the button right. Little Miss Sunshine, thanks so much for being here off the YouTube side. Darcy Miller, hello to you. Thank you so much for being here off the YouTube side as well. Also, Lola, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for off the YouTube side. Thank you, T and Wildflower on the YouTube side, and thank you for everything you're doing and your efforts in helping. Also, thank you, have here Valzel 279. Good evening to you, and thank you for being a part of of this live this evening. Mary Ellen, thank you so much for being here. Greetings to you as well. JC Adams, thank you so much for being here this evening. And Aaron Chase, again, thank you, Aaron, for being here. I truly appreciate you. You know that. Doohickey, thanks so much for being here. God bless you as well. I see you here, Aaron. And I did. I was able to get some rest. I took that 4 hour nap, and that did wonders. I'm still a little tired, you guys, but that did wonders. Thank you, Barry, for being here. Also, greetings to you, and thank you so much, you guys. You know who Barry is. She's the vice president for the Daniel Robinson Foundation. She's also is the board part of the board member, the vice president, as well as being a part of the U team, the A team, the A team. She's part of my A team, and also she's a friend and family member to me. So thank you, Barry, for being here as well. Thank you again, Darcy Miller, for being here. Tatia, thank you so much for being here. I've seen you in a while, and thank you for coming in and giving us your presence. And thank you for everything you do in the background that people do not know what you do. Mary Ellen, thank you so much for being here. What kind of department are they running? Well, the thing is, you know what? I will talk about that on the other end. What I feel, and I'm saying it real quick, and then we'll talk about the other end, is that uh, um, nothing would have been done if you guys, like I said, if I hadn't come out to Arizona, you guys wasn't supporting everything I have been doing and putting your voice. You guys have been putting your voice to the petition. I updated the petition, by the way, you guys. If you guys go check that out on policehelpfinddane.com, hit that petition button. I updated that for you as well. But you guys have been doing things like that. You guys have been calling, being a part of the mailing protest to everything I was asking you guys, and that's what caused some of those movements you see in the police report is from your actions, you guys, and it's continuing on to go forward. I will promise you, Daniel's case will be over to the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office because we're going to get that. Melissa, thanks so much for being here as well. I truly appreciate you coming off the YouTube side. If that is a female, they would say foul play. Yes. If it was a law enforcement officer, vehicle turned on his side and officer uniform is in a pile, they would say it was a head injury and don't do no well. We don't see no need to do forensics and find out what's going on, because we didn't see no blood, and they give the family the stuff that was found in the vehicle and just move on and say, hey, yeah, and try to prove that this vehicle was there for 30 days or whatever. Okay, they wouldn't have been, law enforcement wouldn't have been reacting that way had it been one of their own or their children. You best believe the FBI and everybody else would have rained down on to find this officer. CNN would have been camping out there, had a command center in the desert while they're trying to search for this one officer. My son's life is just as more important as an officer. As a matter of fact, saying he's no better than anybody, but nobody's better than him. And, and that's what I'm fighting for, you guys. That kind of thing, that thing I need to see from law enforcement, and that's what I'm fighting for. And I've been fighting for one, and it's not pretty. I have somebody come and say, "Yeah, I don't agree with you bashing the Buckeye Police Department." Yes, that's fine. I know a lot of people would see it that way. They may have friends and family with the Buckeye Police Department. Hey, he's doing up a bash. No, I'm pointing out the facts of the way I see things that are happening. The way that things are affecting me and my family in my efforts to find my son. So again, this whole movement now is to get my son's case moved over to the Maricopa County Sheriff's, so I have the comfortability and the confidence in the department where I can actually work with. I'm not looking for Maricopa County to work alone. I am Daniel's father, and I'm willing. I'd rather be working with law enforcement hand in hand and having direct conversations and understanding. I said this before, you guys. It could be things like law enforcement say, "Hey, look, we don't need to share this with the public." These are things I have a lot of things I'm not sharing with the public to this day that law enforcement don't even have. So the thing is, I'm saying I'm not sharing things with the public if I know it's part of an investigation. But at the same time, my efforts is just to make sure I feel confident that Daniel is getting the justice that he's looking for. I'm the overseer for my son. Law enforcement actually works for us. They tax dollars funded. So I'm gonna make sure that in my son's case, I can't do this for everybody. I can try, but definitely in my son's case, I'm gonna be chief of his justice. So, all right, Barry, thank you again for moderating and being here, and I truly appreciate your time. You guys, y'all don't know how much the team be working really hard in the background. They may see them sometimes, but many out there working, and I truly appreciate it. Going to meetings and being right by my side all the time when we're out into meetings and things like that with officials in the background working. So again, you guys, it's a lot of work that's being done. Also, thank you, Hannah, for being here. Your son deserves so much more media coverage. All families do, and I thank you for saying that. In life or death, he's blessed to have a thank you, Father, that is passionate and diligent as you are. God got you. Yes, He does. Time tells so many things. Keep the faith, and I will. Thank you, Hannah, for putting that out. I truly, truly appreciate it. That keeps me encouraged hearing things like that. So thank you so much for having faith in what I'm trying to do here. And I'm not the expert. I can make mistakes or whatever case. People point out, well, you should have did things this way. What happened to this and blah blah blah. I'm not an expert, you guys. I'm just trying to do my best. Okay. And so, Mary, thank you so much for being here as well. I truly appreciate you, E. Sands, also for being here this evening. Survivors Resources, thanks so much for being here as well. Good evening from Washington D.C. Were you able to talk to the rancher? Yes, I have. He's always been on my mind in this case. I'm going to work, but we'll be listening on and off. Yes, I have talked to the rancher. Matter of fact, I have recorded one that we interviewed. I don't know why the Buckeye Police Department have never interviewed him in the proper way. And I know why, because his statement is that the vehicle wasn't there. He's on the ground. If they say, hey, we couldn't see it because we was in the air, no, this guy was in the ravine 2 days prior and the vehicle wasn't there. So it's impossible. It's out. See, it's so many contradictories in in this case. We had the Buckeye Police Department come out now and say, oh, we want the vehicle. Well, the vehicle was there at 10 o'clock in the morning. His phone was there at 10 o'clock in the ravine. In the ravine now, I don't know how they was able to triangulate. There was nothing to show. They say, oh, in the ravine at this coordinates. They put the coordinates on their report, you guys. But there is so much contradictory to the statement of a person. Is either you making the rancher a suspect now and wonder why he's going to just lie and say I was right here in this ravine because my cattle go down. He explained that to me, you guys. His cattle literally goes down that ravine. If you guys one day I'm gonna go down the ravine, I'm gonna take a video and we're gonna walk this ravine. I'm gonna show you at the end of the ravine. It leads into the corral that they put these cattle in. They come down that ravine. He checked to see if they made it through yet. No, they did not. And that's why he came back on the 19th. And lo and behold, the vehicle was there. Right? That's his testimony. So you have a bird's eye view that the vehicle wasn't there. I don't understand where they get this data from. When I showed you guys the email that I got from the MileIQ owner, and I don't know how that changed magically. Where they said they got this data that he said was deleted because they system deleted permanently. It's done. It's done. They can't not retrieve it. That's what he told me on the phone. I have that conversation as well. I showed you guys the email this morning, and then I shared it with the Buckeye Police Department what he said about that app. The app was a tracker, but it was definitely didn't have any data come from because it was deleted from the server. But now they're saying they got this spreadsheet or something and it says, oh, it happened right here at this location. So I question that, you guys. I question that. That's what I'm saying. I don't look at what Buckeye put up. They have a history of falsifying documents and things like that. And I wanted to also point that out to you guys, the history of Buckeye Police Department. Chief Hall, who was the leadership of that, he's still chief. So I want to make sure that those things make me uncomfortable and make me doubt anything that the Buckeye Police Department say, and know that they're capable of doing something like that based on their past. And so I just want to make sure you guys, just because they put it in a paper on black and white and put some numbers there and graphs and stuff, I don't take things at face value. You show me. You show me the evidence. Show me how you got evidence, and let's go ahead and put these things together and see if those things make sense. Because we have also evidence from the testimony for the rancher, as well as the investigation from my investigator, who have looking at the physical evidence that say the vehicle wasn't there for 30 days, you guys. And so you can't make it there for 30 days. Those things are warring against each other, is what I'm saying, you guys. And it doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me. So again, I will be talking about that too. But yes, I did talk to the rancher, gave me full details of what he saw and what he thought. He also talked about, based on his cattle, how they would have licked the salt off of the vehicle if the vehicle was there, and they didn't. If it was there longer than the day he came there on the 17th, if it was there, they would have been licking the salt off of it because they would have been hanging around, they'd been digging around the clothing and pushing that clothing around, and there would have been cattle dropping sitting there in that area, which is not, you guys, because they would have been hanging around and trying to get that water because the big cattle, longhorn cattle, you guys, and they would have been digging into that vehicle trying to get that water. And these are big animals. So the whole point is, you guys, it's a lot of things he gave me. He said we saw the vehicle the first time, it was too clean. He's a fourth generation cattle rancher, and that he's seen vehicles and things that have been hanging out there for a few days, and they have much desert dirt, especially through a rain. He also, you guys, I wish I had the backdrop behind me, which I can. Just give me a second. I'm put this backdrop behind me because I want to explain this to you guys again, about how he described the scene to me. You guys, of course, you're gonna see the Please Help Find Daniel stuff on there that we modified on this Buckeye picture. But again, I'm gonna move over to the side a little bit, and so I can give you an example what I'm talking about. So if you guys look right here, let's see if I can get right here. I have a bad image. I'm not a weatherman, but you see right here under this. Let me take this down for 1 second, and I will bring you back up, survival, especially since you asked this question. But if you look right here under this vehicle, that little open space right there, if it been raining as much as this rancher telling me, it's raining as much as they claim it did. He said it wasn't. He was out there, but let's say Buckeye saying that's why he had a hard time too about this rain, water, and hot hat, filling up a hard hat. But if it's raining the way they said it was, they had some really heavy rain days, whatever, for all them days. Water runs down the ravine. You guys know anything about a ravine? There's a crevices in the earth, and the water runs. Anybody who's been out in those deserts with me, and they've been on, we're doing foot searches, line searches, and volunteers, all branches, all this dry brush out here, they breaks off, and they fall into these ravines and run down the stream with the water. And anything that's there down that stream going across, it would build something like a dam, like the beavers would do, to keep, kind of blocks the water. And so that's what would have happened in this ravine behind me that the vehicle was found in 30 days. They would have been building up that debris because this vehicle, again, you guys, the vehicle is like right under here is a small space. And the water running through there, first of all, there'll be a water ring going across the top of that vehicle roof. And also there would have been debris stuck right there with my thumb. It would have been stuck there. There would have been no daylight between there because all that brush would have built a dam there in a sense, because it would have pile up. That's how that works in that desert terrain. Those are indications that it wasn't raining the way that Buckeye claiming it to be, first of all. Other part is that it wasn't there for 30 days and it wasn't that long. And those, so you got to look at some of those physical evidence and then try to say why did they is out as they fabricating the other kind of evidence, because it's going against laws and physics in a sense. It don't make sense. It doesn't make sense of things they say. It doesn't add up with facts that my investigator found of the vehicle not showing up, not matching up with the terrain. Also, you guys got to look at the windshield. If you guys had a better picture I could show you tonight, windshields had two impressions on it, two distinct impressions on both sides. And those impressions are things that my investigator, he pointed out the way the indentions are in there, in the spread out. There's pointed indentions. If it was like the whole thing got hit like that, that's different. But these are something hit directly center of the spread. And that is the indication of somebody taking something heavy and beat it, right? The terrain do not pick up bats or boulders or something and throw it at a vehicle. So something, it just don't match up, you guys. So that's what I'm saying. I really question the Buckeye Police Department's assessment and their gathering of this things they're saying from Mile IQ and so on, so on. So they got to show this to me, you guys. I'm not the one. They have to show me, right, for me to believe that. Also, you guys, I will be talking about it a little bit more, but thank you again, Survivor Resources. Those are things I got from the. I got a lot of other things from the rancher, but I cannot put that out. I'm waiting on see what Buckeye know. I'm waiting to see what they know. They haven't mentioned they're avoiding everything they can, what this rancher says, because it defies. This is before they even hired a private investigator. They was defying trying to put in their report what this what this rancher said, because it didn't match their assessment that, oh no, this vehicle here for 30 days. They're saying the vehicle was here for 30 days, you guys, when the vehicle was found. It was there for 30 days. I mean, I'm like, you know, um, how you know that? You didn't go get the information in 2023 that you didn't have this 2023 information that you back in 2021 is what I'm saying. But they telepathy or something and say, yeah, it was here, and they was fighting for that thing, you guys. They was fighting for this vehicle that had been there for 30 days. Oh, we haven't seen it. They was going, oh, we haven't seen it. We haven't seen it. We did search. It wasn't there. We just must have overlooked it. They was saying before they was looking at the evidence. So I'm saying they already had a preconceived idea of where they want this vehicle to be for whatever reasons. It's always been suspect to me. But for whatever reason, they had a preconceived idea of where this vehicle at. And so they finally in 2023 found ways to put it in a report to match what they've been saying in 2021 before they did those uh, get those evidence together. They've been adamant, but once, like I said, I just have a communication with the Buckeye Police Department. But once my investigator get information to say the vehicle, they say, "Oh my God!" Because they got to fight. As to go back to this also in this report, you guys going to read that they say I came and signed for this vehicle, because I told you they gave me the vehicle on the 20th. You guys get it out of here. We're gonna have it towed. It was in my possession when he said that. Right? Get out here. I told him hold it for 3 days. We had a meeting. Now, the only reason I had to come up there to sign for that vehicle, my investigator went up there to get the black box data. He said that they gave it to him. He didn't just ask to download it. He said they gave him what they already have. He didn't have to hook his computer up to go download it because it already was downloaded. The Buckeye Police Department gave him what they found, and he was able to read it. You guys, he didn't take his equipment there and say, "Oh, I'm gonna download this." No, he did not. Falsification of that report. What he did is he went up there and said, "Hey, we're coming to get this vehicle out of your compound because they released it to me." And then they say, fine, they was going to do it. This officer, I think his name was Angel or Haley, one of them. But anyway, one of them guys, I go back and look at it. One of them guys I remember because Mr. McGrath was calling me about it. They was releasing the vehicle. And then when he opened his mouth, my investigator opened his mouth, they said, what you gonna do? He said, oh, he's gonna read the data, and also he's gonna have the infotainment system pull out of there and send to California for analysis. As soon as they heard that, you guys, that's when they scrambled. They called their city attorney or whoever they did, because they said, my attorney said we had to sign for it, right? Because first they tried to ask me to keep it. Well, we can do what I said. We can do this, but no, your guys gave it to me. No, we're getting it out of there. Well, you had to come sign for it. You had to come sign for it because they was released it to me already. But you had to go sign for it. They made me travel out of Phoenix and go up there and sign the paper, which they'll say, all you have to do is sign right here, and we can release it. So I signed the paper, and my investigator was able to tow it out of there to get this stuff done, because they knew they couldn't at that point. They couldn't force it to stay there because it couldn't do anything to the vehicle. They already had released it to me for what it was told me. They already released it to me. It's just that they want to make sure they have a record that is out of their possession. That was as simple as that. That's what I was told, and that's the reason why I was able to sign something to say, hey, yes, we gave it over to you. It was in your possession. Make sure nobody say, oh, somebody stole the vehicle or what the case may be, is how they explained that to me. So the thing is, you guys, um, it's a lot of things I read in the report is written in a way cleverly. I'm sure, like I said again, from their attorneys, it's written in a way to make it appear that I was being resistant or this and that and blah blah blah. I don't want to build this whole anger against the Buckeye Police Department, and they've been doing all these great things all the time. And no, that is not true, you guys. The narrative, the storyline, do not go that direction. So again, we'll be deep diving for a while, but right now this whole thing is about the Candlelight Vigil, and I'm trying to get past the 23rd. Once I get past the 23rd, all the windows are going to go wide open, you guys, and I'm going to be able to expose a lot of things that I could take my time with on this channel and show you guys. It's going to be a lot of things I can actually show to you then at that point. Again, forgive the slow movement on the live. I see I'm just watching different screens and see things freezing up. But I'm trying my best, you guys, on that too. Trying to keep it together. But thank you, Aaron Chase, for putting the question mark, hashtag there. Unity Candlelight Visual. You guys do not forget that. You can start utilizing that now. That will help me tremendously on what we're doing here. And I truly appreciate it. Don't forget, you guys go to pleasehelpfinddane.com, and you still can do the mail-in protest. That's what we're doing. Oh, excuse me, we're doing a mail-in protest, and that is something that haven't stopped. They haven't stopped yet, you guys. I'm still doing that. And what we're asking for, you guys, again, is a change of jurisdiction, and that is to get Dane's case moved over to the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office. We asked for a criminal investigation to Dane's disappearance based on all the information we know that suggests foul play in my son's case. The fact he's been missing for 2 years, and the understanding from our family, a father who knows his son so well, his character, or what he would and would not do. The fact that he went missing in the crime zone where we found human remains, et cetera, et cetera. I can go on near federal land, or on federal land, a vehicle where, like I said, the argument, like I said, someone say, oh, it wasn't no federal land, whatever. Close proximity. We don't know how this crime crossed over to federal. It's too close. Now, if it's 100 miles away from federal land, then we can rule that out. But federal law enforcement cannot rule that out. So the FBI need to be looking into that as well. Also, I'm still saying we need FBI involved in this case, despite of what I'm hearing the Buckeye Police Department say. They said it one time before, make it appear the FBI was in the case. Oh, you were doing a case briefing. Agreed with my letter that I sent to Chief Hall, and you saw what happened the last time. They literally must have said something to the FBI, and I'm sure that one agent, based on his attitude, probably friends of theirs, say, oh, they've done such a great job, without having showing me anything. This guy didn't have paperwork. He yelled at me, and me and Mr. Farmer had his guys standing there like they ready to shoot us or something if we said the wrong thing or something. I don't know. But the fact is that sometimes people are moved by their buddies in law enforcement. Like I said, that blue thing. So the thing is, again, I don't know if the FBI is really, really involved. Nobody contacted me directly from the FBI. So I would not take that as face value. Also with the Buckeye Police, because they did it before. So I'm being very cautious. I got cited this morning. I said, oh yeah, the FBI is in the case. I think I said it on the interview as well. Oh, the FBI is in the case. I'm going to say tonight, I don't know if the FBI is in the case. So we're going to ask the FBI involvement in this case because to date, there's no proof of that outside of what Buckeye is saying on a piece of paper in black and white. Don't mean nothing to me. It means exactly what it is, a piece of paper. So I want to make sure that if this is a fact, the FBI would, if the FBI was looking into Dan's case, I think they have the decency to have reached out to me and let me know that. Yeah, those things are not done in secret with a family. So again, I doubt it. I'm not gonna go with it, so you guys can feel, oh yeah, the FBI, Buckeye did well. They got the FBI, and I don't know. I've seen no evidence of the FBI in my son's case. So we're asking for the FBI involvement, guys. I'm reopening that part of it. FBI involvement into Daniel Robinson case. Again, change of jurisdiction. I have no confidence in the Buckeye Police Department, despite of what their actions are to try to make it appear they did some well. I have no confidence on a lot of reasons, and I think I can work better with law enforcement if it's in Maricopa County, where I can actually work with law enforcement. I've been wanting to work with Buckeye, but they gave me so many reasons why now I shouldn't trust them on that. Hey, my son joined a monastery, become a monk. Hey, he had a brain injury, shred his clothes off, and cool off on a tree, and some wild animal got him. Hey, I'm not going to look at this evidence. I'm going to stop talking to you, and I'm going to hire my own private investigator. And say what I've been saying all along before the evidence. Oh, it's been here for 30 days, without evidence, so stuff like that. Those things are suspect to me. The fact that they took their time and denied a flight that I asked for personally. Can you please go search my son out there in that desert? And they denied it and unauthorized it and cancel it. So those things to me cause my son's life. Those are failures. And I would not allow a department like that, no matter what they do, to continue on with their failures. To date, they only thing they came up with, like I said, unsubstantiated claim about this IQ. It goes against what the owner said to me on the phone and on email you guys saw this morning, and what I told Detective Biffin. that they think was based on that. The only thing they say, because you guys, I'm sure they watch the stuff. I say they didn't put law enforcement hadn't put us any closer to find the answer to my son's case. Oh, we're gonna give him something closer. Yeah, this vehicle was here 30 days, so we got this mal IQ thing. This is say, so we go on the news. Yeah, we found some new information. This vehicle was here for 30 days based on this mal IQ app, and I traced and I walked around and did this, but they never traced the man who said my son just wave off and left. They're not interested in that to find out that story is true, but they want to go do that because they're really chasing after that. And also the fact that they want to put out that my son has some kind of depression. So what if he did have depression? I wasn't aware of it, and it's not nothing that he showed me. Let's say Daniel did have a depression. What that mean about everything in that report, you guys, you can see it's an attack because they put in a whole bunch of things that doesn't matter, don't even mean a hill of beans to what happened to my son and how you guys can find him. They are so more interested in that to try to defend themselves, and they're fighting against things that I'm saying against them, that's pointing out against them. They are angry, and they're showing their anger in those ways, putting out what Mr. McGrath may have said to them. I don't know if that's true or not, but if he did, it still doesn't matter. It don't mean anything. Putting out the fact that I told you so. Like I said this morning, that we're going to prove that Daniel was having some kind of he was depressed about something. That has no hill of beans about what happened to my son. Like I told you guys before. So it doesn't matter about things like that. So they're putting up unnecessary fillers in there to us to I like say what centralize this case of about some woman. Oh, he was in love. The father said, which is a lie, you guys. The father said he was in love with a woman he didn't know, and he said this to us on such date. And I'm looking at that date. I'm like, I didn't even know about. They'll say I didn't know about my son's that situation with this young lady until Daniel told me 2 days prior to him going missing. So some things they were saying it didn't go with the truth. So I was looking at those things and say, why are they doing all of that? Why are they doing that? And they took the report offline so you guys couldn't get it for over a couple months. And I'm telling you how they did it cleverly. Say, oh yeah, because of public interest. It was public interest when they released it the third time. They gave me a partial report. They released a full report to say it was done. And then they released another report after that because they said then, oh, because of public interest, we releasing this too. Because that's when the reporters came to me and started asking me about this young lady because they released it purposely. And she had it highlighted in that one little session that they highlighted because they want the story to talk about this young lady. And that was then. So it's no difference. Those are those clever things that attorneys are putting there to try to defend Buckeye. For their non-actions. You guys, again, cleverly written. It's like a story. I've been reading that thing. I was up to 5 o'clock in the morning reading some of that report, and I felt like I was watching a movie or something. So the thing is, I'm telling you guys, we'll be going through that stuff again, but that's what we need right now, you guys, is to get a criminal investigation to my son's case because we're getting so far away to about what's really happening. My son went missing. Caitlin, she's not a victim. What is his name at the well site that say he saw my son last up my mind, but Ken, he's not a victim, so my son is a victim. He's missing. I'm a victim based on the law of Arizona, but I'm not the victim. I'm not the person missing. So what I have to say in defense of my son and against Buckeye for their non-actions, they're not the victim. Buckeye's not the victim. You guys, they're gonna make y'all feel like they're the victim. Oh, he's poor us. Mr. Robinson's beating up on us, and he's bashing us. You guys, he's bashing us, and I'm gonna show y'all he's bashing us. I don't care about their feelings. My son is the victim, you guys, and we can't lose focus of that. We can lose focus of this dumb stuff they got in this report. I even try to put doubt of what I'm doing in this effort. You guys, from day one, has been in Arizona. I'm not an Arizona person. I'm a beach person. I like to be in Florida. Need to be some water area or something. I've been out there, not on some vacation. I've been out there busting my tail with volunteers and other people to try to locate Daniel. You guys help me remain in Arizona. I have a house and a home in South Carolina. I have a responsibility. I have a young daughter. I have a life that I still have to maintain while being out into Arizona and searching for my son. I needed help. They even put it in the report, trying to say Mr. Graff is wondering why he could just pay his own way to. That's a we can talk about Mr. McGrath some other time, but Why he pay his own way? They say his pen is. Why he pay his own way to remain in Arizona? Because unless he's providing for me to do that, that'll be fine. But you know what? Sometimes people need help, and I reached out to you guys for help, and you guys had help, right? It's okay to ask the community and people to help do something. You guys have been helping me do that. So I appreciate everybody who helped me remain in Arizona. That was one of the things that I've been fighting for, because I'm telling you guys, again, all these things you see in the Buckeye Police Report happened because I remained in Arizona. It happened because I've been sitting there fighting for my son, searches all out law enforcement help. I've been investigating things that law enforcement just catching up. All those things y'all heard about Sedona and this. We investigated those things, and the Buckeye Police Department did it after. They were slow moving. They were slow dragging their feet. We have already talked to these people, and they're dragging their feet behind it. Hearing what we said, because after we talked to people, I shared those things with the Buckeye Police Department, and they slow dragging it as if they the one initiator or been going on for it, whatever the case may be. Whatever they want to sell to you guys, that's what they do. What I'm saying is, you guys, because you guys have kept me in Arizona, you kept me there. I thank you. I was able to get a 1-bedroom apartment, you guys, and been there fighting. When I asked you guys to help me keep my boots on the ground, that's exactly what was put on GoFundMe, for instance. Help me keep my boots on the ground so I could be here on the ground, you guys, because that's what we do in the military. We put our boots on the ground so we can be there in the fight. I had to be there. I couldn't do that from South Carolina. So you guys have helped me remain there. You guys have helped me provide to keep volunteers safe, provide equipment, get a private investigator. You guys also provide equipment. So the investigator, I heard something they put in there as well, saying Mr. McGrath said, what his equipment was he needed to watch what he's saying too, if he was saying that stuff. But his equipment was donated or some crap like that. When he saying I donated it to him, he talking about me, because I paid thousands of dollars every week for him and his at the time he told me those guys were working for him. I never hired them, but these guys hired him, and he had these other guys. They were riding. Anybody who comes to the search and see them riding around with Mr. Grab, have his hat turned back and ride with them quads and stuff. I paid for that. I paid for that. I paid for the trailer, paid for the insurance, paid for that. That's coming out of the pockets, you guys. What you guys have been donating and helping. I also had to provide for the raises that I have been doing as well, utilizing. So it costs a lot of money when I was doing those searches out there every week, close to $5,000 a week. Plus, you guys have the flyers that's going out thousands by the box, 500 per box. So sometimes it's $1,000 or $2,000 every week getting those flyers out. I've been thousands of flyers out, you guys, getting the billboards that you guys seen from the east side of Phoenix out into the west. So if anybody have any questions of who I am as a person and my efforts to find my son, I would challenge them any day, because I definitely was out here doing the best I can. I'm not a perfect person. I could make mistakes. Or they say, well, you could have utilized the money this way or do this. Yes, that's easy for you to say when you don't have a missing loved one and you have a lot on your head trying to do a whole bunch of things at one time. And I'm still doing it, you guys. Still doing a whole bunch of things at one time. But God is good, and he's been blessing ever since. So I really appreciate those who have been sticking in with me from day one, who have believed in what I've done. There's always going to be naysayers out there. I think the Bible called them scorners. There's going to be scorners out there. People got something negative to say or try to put a stink on something. That type of stuff. That's just the world. So we're not going to lose our focus again, you guys. The focus is Daniel Cornelius Robinson, geologist Daniel Cornelius Robinson. He deserved the respect. He earned his title, geologist Daniel Cornelius Robinson. Young, 24-year-old man, went out from South Carolina and to pursue a career. Well, early on, pursue his career. Ended up 24 years old and gone missing in this early part of his life. Him is getting started yet. So this main focus is my son. It's not about me. It's not about Buckeye. It's about me as a father trying to get justice for my son. But the whole thing is not about me or Buckeye. It's about Daniel Cornelius Robinson, geologist Daniel Cornelius Robinson. He's missing. He's the victim. Outside of everything Buckeye I've been throwing at you guys about this woman and making it all about this Caitlin and centralizing my son's case. And now they're throwing in what Miss McGrath says and this and that. I mean, those are attacks. So I take them as attacks. You guys, if you guys read that, you can't read it no other way. You see what Buckeye Police Department is doing. They're on the defensive because you guys have been sending in those letters and it's bombarding them, their departments, and they even I even laugh because them guys even I have never seen this in my life. Those Freedom of Information, yeah, we'll send you this record if you give us $1,000, $1,000 for a picture, you guys, $1,000 for things that you guys should be receiving. Yes, they're charging y'all thousands of dollars for something. Try to discourage you guys from asking for things that they have to prove, right? Physical evidence they have to prove, like this Mal IQ thing they're coming up with. Those things are paper written to me. So again, you guys, I know I jumped off because those things are heavily on my mind. I will be going again, deep diving into the report. All 5 of them. I think it was 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, about 4 or 5 reports. All 3 of those I'm putting those together. They're gonna be side by side, and you guys can see how they orchestrated, in my opinion, this whole new report based on the old reports and stuff like that. How things change. There's no credibility I see in the Buckeye Police Department based on their history and everything I've seen they have done. I already seen how they change paragraphs between these other 2 reports. I want to see how they're doing it with this new one as well and things like that. So again, I call it falsifying reports. They have a history of falsifying reports, so it's not shocking to me when I saw it the first time. Me and the young lady, a content creator, was going through the report side by side. The one they gave me versus the one they released to the public, because of during that time they said the same thing saying now because of the public interest, before they took it off. So it's the same thing, you guys. Same thing, just repeat over and over again. They're spreading these officers' name out to make it look like they did a whole lot more and big things. It be in the same place. Hey, let's say you're in your house, one person in the living room, one person in the kitchen, and they say, "Yeah, I was in this living room. I'm looking for the remote." No, you always looking for the remote on the same day, but you put it in different ways, make it look like it's a bunch of stuff was happening. And that's the way I look at this report, how it was written. It's clever, very right? So I look at things in a different way. Again, thank you, Tatia, for being here. That's also been sharing that. Like, share Daniel's story, subscribe. Helps the algorithm. I thank you so much for reminding me of that. You guys, if you're new here on this channel, please do so. Please, right now, don't forget, even if you plan not to come back, hey, that's boring button for me. That help. And it'll help with this Candlelight Vigil coming up. Help get this channel out a little farther to more people. It'll help me help other families as well that will be on here. Like I said, the father, Gabby Petito, will be here talking on the 23rd. And also, I'm trying to get Miss Nunez back, Nunez back on, as well as I can get Mr. Risto if he's available. You guys, these are people that you've seen here before. I'm trying to also get some other panelists on that we'll be able to talk. Of course, Larnell may be able to talk, and you guys would like to hear things from a law enforcement standpoint, as well as some other ones that I really want to point out. So I'm putting some things together in the background, you guys. But like I said, the ultimate thing would be for you guys to come in and listen in and hear what we all have to say, and share these families' story and get their story out there. So those will be those key things for this whole event. That's the whole purpose of the event, is to highlight Daniel being missing for 2 years. But just like Daniel, we want to help other families as well. It's not about Daniel. Daniel, this is America's son. He just a sign of what happens in this country and how families are fighting for justice and fighting to find out where their loved one. If I was to walk away right now based on the report, for instance, and I say, "Oh man, Buckeye did such a great job," and I just say, "Well, let me go ahead and go back home to South Carolina. I'll just be done with it." That's where it will stop, you guys. It would stop with them saying, "Oh, this Mal IQ said this vehicle was in a ravine." Just like we said at the beginning, it was in a ravine for 30 days, and then they'll stop. That's it. That was it. That'll be the end of the story. We walk away right now, you guys, as a group or as a grassroots organization. We walk away. It would actually stop. Daniel would never be found. It'll be 20 years from now. Like I told you guys, they'll make it a cold case first of all, and they'll put it in the back closet somewhere. And this is my vision. I will say it over and over again. They'll put Daniel's case in the back closet somewhere. I'm gonna say it like this, my opinion. Detective Biffin, put it in the back closet somewhere. He'll live out his career with the Buckeye Police Department, and he'll move on. New detective come in, and eventually one day, one of them, maybe the one after him, will come in one day and say, you know what, there's a whole bunch of, this closet is filled with cold cases. Let me pick one. They happen to pick Daniel Robinson's case, and let's pick it back up. And then here it is a week or two later, they found out what happened to Daniel. They could have found out here in 2021, 2022, 2023. But they'll put it in the back closet and it could have been done now. And so I'm saying is I don't have confidence that the Buckeye flows to this point. Here it is 2 years and they haven't brought us anything but say, yeah, this Mal Q out said the vehicle was in the ravine. That is not bringing no answers. It's put us back in the same circle we was at the beginning. We know the vehicle is in the ravine. I don't agree with the 30 days because we have evidence to say the opposite. So those two things war against each other. But the thing is, it put us in the same place. We haven't gone anywhere in Daniel Robinson's case. What? You followed some leads and somebody said, yeah, somebody told me they think they saw Daniel. We went to go look here. And we went to go look in the desert. I did 49 weeks of desert searches. So what? So what about a search? You know? So I'm saying, you guys, what I'm saying is let's do some physical work. Why it took in 2023, they haven't got the swab evidence of something they said they did on this door. We don't know who somebody was in the vehicle, right? At 10 o'clock, they claim it was that because they haven't even did the forensics because they don't care. It don't take to 2023 from 2021 to go get a swab when the apartment was there, and they could have easily say, well, we can't. That day when they say, hey, we can't get an apartment, the apartment people say, hey, look, y'all come here and take a picture. They went in there and took a picture. And then first thing they're gonna point out to you guys, yeah, we see some marijuana roaches. This is Arizona. Hell, they might smoke weed or something when they get off from work. I don't know. Ted the Biff and all of them smoking weed. I don't know what they do. The thing is, so what? You smell a roach, and that's just a way to try to make Daniel look bad. Oh yeah, put that. Yeah, we found some ashtray with some weed in, like it's a bad thing or something. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, we saw an ashtray with some cigarette butts in it. And he had got cancer, and we know he was smoking. He said he didn't smoke, but we found some cigarette butts in the thing. I'm just saying, who cares? You know? So what happened to the swabbing of this vehicle and your actions to find out what happened? Why wait till a year or so later after the apartment being dismantled and everything been put in storage? Some things Daniel's mother took back to South Carolina, and then he say, hey, by the way, do you have a raise? And then they try to blame me for their inaction somehow. Yeah, I asked him time and time again to get a razor. Dude, you could have asked me that when Daniel Parkman was there. You're the police officer. You're the law enforcement agency, not me. So what I'm saying, that just tell you guys over and over again the failures of the law enforcement agency, Buckeye. I don't care how pretty, the beautiful they put their report. You got to look at these failures, you guys. That caused my son to be missing to this day. Those are the failures. This caused my son justice to be hampered because if they would have did this forensics then on the scene and they would have did the stuff at the apartment, we would have found answers. If anybody or anyone been involved, I'm housing clothing. They still refusing to do forensics on. I was able to convince Tempe to do the forensics on the electronics, all of Daniel electronics, but I still haven't got Maricopa County to take on the vehicle. Got Maricopa County to do the forensics on the clothing. You guys see right here. Let me see right here on the ground. So we saw the pictures of it. We don't identify. Nobody's seen Daniel in this family. Him wearing his sister, who was in Arizona, see him all the time. Never identified those clothes. I wanted to see if that's his clothes. Where's the forensics on that? Let's say there's you assumption. You're going by something you actually law enforcement actually basing things off of assumption. We're assuming, just like Sergeant Hanneman said to me in that meeting with me and Larnell was there. He said, I said, how you know nobody else was driving my son? Well, it's his vehicle. It was obvious he was driving. That don't even make sense from a law enforcement standpoint. So if you think that way, I see why things wasn't done properly. As Detective Biffin in the recorded phone call, why he haven't done no before the meeting? Why he haven't done no forensics on the scene? Did y'all? No, I asked him. Did y'all do any forensics? Well, he said he didn't see any reasons why he should do in it. Looking at the scene, he didn't see no reason why he should do forensics on the scene. You guys, now hindsight, I forced them to do forensics on that vehicle where they swabbed all the stuff they said they did. I asked them to do that in that meeting, and they just sat on it until 2020. three and then try to flip it around as if I'm the one holding them back. They're law enforcement. They could have got a warrant. They could have asked me when we finally got access to Dan's apartment. Hey, Mr. Robinson, they knew we got access to it because matter of fact, Sergeant Hanneman, their sergeant detective, told my daughter to break into Daniel's apartment. Hey, break in his apartment. If y'all get access, break in his apartment. Just don't get caught. But then I told him I recorded everything. He turned red in the face and walked out the room for a minute, came back. You guys told me, law enforcement telling us to break into my son's apartment. I found out that even if we did, which we had, if we did, Daniel couldn't. He had to press charge. Of course, he wouldn't press charge. We're trying to get in and save his life because at that point, not a law enforcement agency would go in there to make sure he wasn't on that floor somewhere and something happened to my son. That's the kind of that was the kind of welfare check I was looking for. But the thing is, I'm saying, you guys, these are failures, and I'm not going to allow law enforcement to take those facts, try to mush it up and report to make themselves look good, to give themselves some credibility that they don't have, right? So again, we're going to fight and going to continue to fight. It was a headache when I got that report because I definitely wanted to focus on the Unity Candlelight Vigil and then give me the opportunity to do so. So I'm going to keep on fighting. I have a question here from Darcy Miller. Thank you, Darcy, for coming in as well. The question is, do you know if there is any, or there were any other tire prints close to Daniel's car? When the vehicle was found right here on the scene, you guys, this is exactly, I have that call with Detective Biffin as well. They told me there was nothing, right? No, the vehicle. They told me that. Well, I don't know about the vehicle track, but they said it was no footprints of Daniel because it's shoes. At the 20, you are explaining to me that the boots and socks and all that was on the ground or whatever the case may be. Clothes, everything was body on the ground. We didn't see any footprints or anything walking away from that search. We had search dogs and tracking dogs and cadaver dogs. They didn't track. They didn't get nothing. And I'm telling you guys, it's so consistent to everything that Ms. McGrath found. Dan was never at the scene. If that was his clothing or they got the scent with the dogs based on his vehicle, something in his vehicle to try to track and to see if they can find Daniel, because they at this point they didn't even have access to Daniel's apartment. Nobody did. And so the only thing of Daniel's they could have gotten if they utilized these clothes for this dog, of course they ain't gonna track nothing because might not be his clothes. And that clothes put down on the ground. So of course it didn't travel. The person whoever wears don't travel somewhere because nobody was there to travel with. So everything is consistent with that kind of stuff. But I can't say they told me that no, it was nothing saying that he walked and left that area, right? So just like they can't prove that Daniel was in that vehicle, that Daniel left that vehicle and all that, they can't prove that anybody else was there. Without doing the forensics that I'm asking them to do. Maricopa County, I've been asking Sheriff Zone. I had direct conversation with him, have a liaison. So he know what we're asking for, and he's been telling us the whole time as a team that I would not put out there, but he knows what we're really going on, Sheriff Zone himself. And what I'm saying is, you guys, he has a facility. They've been blessed with a state-of-the-art facility they didn't have. And I think it was in 2021 or 2022 when they received this. And this is a rapid DNA testing center. Buckeye use it all the time when we give them. And I'm telling you guys again, when we upload that thing through Peace Help Find Data, they falsify that in their reports as well. When we upload these images of these bones that we find there, it goes straight to the Buckeye Police Department, who goes to Maricopa County Sheriff's Office examiner, and they give us the feedback. And they was calling it back then human remains, but now they're backtracking and saying, "Oh no, it was animal remains." Again, crime statistic. I get it, bring it down. But the thing is, you guys, Maricopa County has the facility that I need for Daniel's case. They have the proper equipment. They have the proper know-how. So when things go wrong, it goes straight. I want to move out the middleman that ain't doing nothing. That's the Buckeye Police Department, who's keeping progress from going. Something going through the Maricopa County, through Buckeye Police. I don't know if they get a Maricopa County or not to get examined. That type of stuff. No, we need to go to the source. In this case, I feel confident in my son. I'm advocating fighting for my son. That's my main priority, my first priority as a father. And I want my son's case there because, like I said, a state-of-art facility they have. that does rapid testing. Some say, you go to DPS, is also DPS is the Department of Public Safety in Arizona. They're the big top cops in Arizona over Maricopa County as well. But their system is so backed up because they have the whole state, and the system is the best rapid source will be through the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office, and that's the reason why, some of the reasons why, again, I'm fighting for my son's case to get moved over to these this department. Also, I have confidence in Mr. Sheriff Zone to do the right things based on what I saw when I first met him. Sometimes they say first impressions and everything. That's my impressions of him. Now I can say his department, the way things move. I didn't have to come. I think they're passing the ball. I don't know, they are scared, or is, again, like you said, you don't want to let the bitch sheriff come in, or whatever the case may be. I don't know what it is, or protecting the blue and all the stuff. I get that. That's what they do. Here, law enforcement, they protect the blue. But when that case get over to the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office, I have no doubt that things will start moving forward, and we'll get these answers to what happened. Daniel, like I said again, he is definitely the center of all of this. It's not about me. It's not about Maricopa, about Buckeye or anybody else. It's about Daniel Cornelius Robinson, geologist Daniel Cornelius Robinson. All right, and thank you, Survivor, again. You saying here. Yes, you're welcome. I thought about him since the day, since day one, and there's just something around that. It seems like, there's a cover up, and and it does, and I'm saying, you guys, the cover up thing that came from me when I started looking high in sight. Again, I said this many times, and I've been saying it over and over again in the public sphere, thinking maybe somebody would catch on to it. Um, it's not ironic, guys. I had a meeting with Chief Hall a few, like 2 days, 2 or 3 days before my already scheduled. So I've been out there, you guys, searching every weekend with volunteers. He took, out of 49 weeks, 48, 49 weeks of searches, he came to one, and that was right after that meeting, you guys. I mean, because that meeting was right when that vehicle showed up, magically showed up after we have sighting of it off of in the Verrado Way area, right? To this day, Buckeye still won't let me know what happened to that vehicle. I tried to find it through towing companies and Jet Rabbit, I think the name of right down the street from where it was found. And nobody can give me answers about this particular vehicle. They law enforcement, right? Oh, we can't get no information. We ain't found no information. That's, they got no report now, even about that. Everything I'm saying on here, they found a way to try to discredit it or something. But this is eyewitness from a guy who took the picture. That vehicle appeared to be that same vehicle. You look at that picture, I look at it all the time, you guys. I will put it up here. I'll keep forgetting. I'll do this on the next live next week. If I remember, I'm going to put the picture, the blurry picture up there, and you guys tell me what you think. It's so blurry, you cannot you just look at the shape of the vehicle and you can see it do appears. And that's what the only thing you can't go by. They look, oh, I look at the rims and the rim is white. How many times you guys ever seen a white rim on any vehicle in modern day time? I'm just waiting. White, not gray, not silver, white. I seen that on 18 wheelers. They have white rims on trailers, but there's no white rims on a vehicle, right? You name one vehicle you ever seen going down the road today. If y'all could show me, and what I can tell you guys to do is show me some white rims on some SUV that you guys see at the mall, and I would like to see those, because there's none. There's zero. No white rims. That's only because the picture is blurry and the lighting. Again, these are pictures, you guys. The lighting. Only thing we know that the person who definitely seen this vehicle say it appears to be the same. It looks just like the vehicle that you guys are describing. That you guys put that on the news. That's why they took the picture, and that's why. But it was blurry because the wife tried to take it while they were moving, and it's blurry picture, right? This is what I would say. They look just like that vehicle y'all put up, right? And then here it is 2 days later, show up in the desert, and here it is. We're having a meeting with Chief Hall and his people, and then that weekend when the search was, he shows up to say, "Hey, the vehicle was right here," selling the story. It is right here. It was right here. I seen it myself. I was out here and I seen it myself, grandstanding, right? I mean, it's not ironic, and then never show up again. He gave what he needed to do, got in his vehicle, drove off to never ever come to a search of 48 weeks. Period. Because I did 49. I count 49, you guys, because of the search I did on February 25th of this year. That made it 49 weeks. So never, never came back ever again. Think about that, you guys. And I say that, I'm saying those to me are things are suspect to me. I ain't saying he did anything and all this stuff. All I'm saying is it's suspect to me though. Why are you trying to sell me the story? That's where I took it. You're selling me a story to try to make me believe this vehicle was here for 30 days. They were saying that before. I'm telling you guys, before they got this malview, before they got anything else, and they purposely ignore the rancher's account of it at the time. Like they already know we gonna always stand this thing. This vehicle had me. We gonna stand this thing. This vehicle. Remember, this vehicle being here for 30 days. Do everything we can to make sure that happens. I don't care what kind of evidence come up. We find evidence to prove that this vehicle being here for 30 days. That type stuff. Forget what the rancher says. Forget the fact that we rode over here and drove over this area and it wasn't there. What we could do, whatever they did, came in. They say, well, we didn't see it because we didn't see it because the brush is so high. They've been saying all this before evidence, you guys. This is crazy. This is crazy, you guys. I'm saying, so you kind of put all those things together and you start looking at a big narrative and you look at a big picture that makes a lot of sense to me. And that's what made me always feel some type of cover up for somebody or something. And that's what it feels like to me when I start going over those facts of what been happening on my timeline, the things I've been recording and keeping. Now, but I'm saying I'm working on those things, guys, and I'm telling you, things they said out their own mouth will destroy the things they're writing in their report in 2023. You can't erase what you said. You can't erase to the dates and timestamps of things that happened and when you said it and all that kind of stuff. But you can make a report and put it in black and white. I'm telling you. And so that's what I'm looking at. And they're not going to erase the facts of what happened in my son's case. And that's why I don't trust them. And I need my son's case moved into a different jurisdiction, different somewhere. And they make me, to be honest with law enforcement taking so slow, much as I want Maricopa County to take over FBI stuff, they're making me feel that law enforcement is against me. Because the reason I say that, because they're slow moving. I don't know. I don't want to step on the Blues' toe or they buddy's toes, and it's almost like they all connected somehow, and it made me nervous about Arizona. I wish it was another power that it can go outside of Arizona that can look down into these departments from somewhere, another source, not the field office of Phoenix, Arizona FBI office, field office. I'm talking about the big office or somebody who have no bias about, because they got their buddies working for the Buckeye Police Department and so on and so on. They go out drinking together, but whatever the case may be, I need somebody who's really can look into this case and look into these departments, because it makes me feel that way sometimes, you guys. Like, where would you actually get justice from? When they all buddies or something, everybody know each other, they all connected in some form of fashion in Arizona, and it makes it feel that way. I had a guy in my search group one time, caught him in the corner with a scanner talking to Buckeye. I had Buck Department talking to one of my search coordinator and logistics coordinator about the case. Didn't come to me getting questions and answers from him. They having side conversations together about the case. Now, and find out what I'm talking about and stuff like that. So, I mean, spies, I call them in the sense, you guys. So I had to deal with things like that. That's the stuff I had to deal with out there in the desert. But I needed these guys. I needed to keep the search going to get you guys to help me out there searching. But I'm telling you guys, a lot of things like that have been happening. It's been very hurtful. But I'm saying is it make you feel like, well, who can you really turn to? A lot of times I'm grateful for the 18 that I have right now, you guys. I tell them that all the time. So far, they have always been like family. They're the aunties and uncle to Daniel Robinson. And they have been showing that from day one. Because I'm telling you guys, some of the things that had came out, look at the report. These are things that Buckeye said that Miss McGrath been saying, yet he was hired by me, So I'm saying, you guys, there's always this kind of thing where it seems like these people are some kind of way associated and willing to work together for whatever reason they got going on. And so the thing is, I'm saying is Thank you guys again. When you say cover up survivor resources, a lot of times it feels that way. And I think a lot of people, when they outside, anybody who have a real logical mind and think about it, look at the whole totality of this case, and you can start seeing things that just don't make sense. I hear reporters say it all the time, very educated people as well, and they say everything just don't make sense. One day the police say this, and next time they say this, and this is going on because it's all about themselves, man. They all about trying to make sure they write things in a clever way, like they did this time, to make themselves appear good, that they did so well, right? That type stuff. This is a defense mechanism. All right, so and I think law enforcement should not have that. That should be constructive criticism to make them do better. Like, hey, look, we messed up. We messed up. What we can do to get better, not beat up on the victim. There's a law in Arizona for what Buckeye is doing to me in that report. When I read some stuff that's in there now, I made copies of the stuff. It's a law. I'm a victim. I have victims' rights in Arizona, and I'm going to utilize those victim rights on some things they said. I asked them nicely before. The father said Daniel was in love with. I told them before. Daniel has never said that, never, and they put that in the report. That it bothers me every time I see it. And I say, here, the 2023, they keep their thing, but they don't want to hear what the rancher have to say. Oh, they want you guys to hear that, yeah, Daniel's in love with a woman that he didn't know. But they don't want y'all to hear it say, the rancher said, the vehicle wasn't here. I was here in this spot right here. It wasn't here 2 days ago. Because it goes against their thing they got going on, you know. So again, Encos get 30 days, they ruling out. My investigator, when it gets 30 days, shows the evidence, hard physical evidence, and the reason why. We both out there trying to get that speed up. Can't get it with a desert vehicle. All this kind of stuff. And what they did, stop talking to me, reject his findings, and then ultimately went to go get some accident reconstruction. I'm sure some guy they know in Arizona and got him. I think his name was Catone or something, and got him. And this guy have never seen Daniel vehicle. Never. At me right now, look at this picture, you guys behind me, and I'm making some. Yeah, you guys see right here. I can tell that the vehicle rolled here because you see this right here. That's exactly what happened, because you look at here, this line that's going on across the top of the vehicle right here, and that line, see how it's curving like that? That means there's something hit on the side. I'm saying, you guys, I'm telling you, these are pictures. This is not evidence. You don't look at evidence based on pictures. You have to go, if the physical evidence is available to you, you utilize that. They have not once, Ms. McGrath said that before, he was really uptight about it. They have not once asked us to look. I most likely would have gave it to him at the time. Not now. Hey, look, or have him come at the facility and see what he thinks, as well as if it matches up with Mr. McGrath. They did not even ask you guys, because they didn't have no attention. All they was bent on is making sure this guy, in my opinion, say what they wanted to say before that. They always been saying, I told you. My investigator said it was there for 30 days. I told you. What was based on when you were saying it was there for 30 days? You know, I think at the time he said they brought in the rain, the hat. And then when I said, well, how, and I started talking about the hat, like, how's this business card still standing intact or whatever? Then they came back later after that as a rebuttal to that, say, well, there was some water damage in the vehicle. Well, where the puddles at in the vehicle? Y'all took all these pictures and I see the water in the hat. But where's the water puddle? The water, that much water's falling into to fill up that hat. That should have been a big puddle somewhere on that ground side, the vehicle line on the side. Where's that? And the vehicle, I'm just saying, and it's so, it is so much, you guys. It defies logics to me. I'm a logical person. I look at things in a different way, I guess. And I look at things that do, I guess, a physics. I guess the reason why all my children are scientists. You know, our brains work a different way, I guess. Not saying everybody else do, but you kind of look at common sense a lot more than just things that people say. It just don't add up and don't make sense. And that's the reason why I know many times these reporters are constantly saying this whole thing just don't make sense. It doesn't make sense because it defies logic. You have to literally purposely tell your mind that, yeah, what Buckeye Police Department said got to be true because they said it. I don't do things like that. I need to see You show me better than you can tell me, and then I can believe it. Mr. McGrath showed me better. He told me, he didn't come out and say, well, David, I'm telling you something. I looked at the vehicle and the damage doesn't match the terrain. He told me the reason why. He went through it and showed me why. I didn't go touching the vehicle, got close to the vehicle. He told me why, and he went through everything physically and why, right? Told me that stuff. I seen it. It makes sense. We was out there traveling, trying to go up this hill and ream the different angles to try to get that speed to come down, how to get down to that ravine. Impossible. It wasn't enough distance. He measured. I see him out there with the tape and doing his investigative stuff to get that distance. How coming over a hill and in that flat surface, how far the distance is to get to that ravine to get that speed up. Impossible with a desert vehicle. This is a heavy vehicle. Would not be able to get it. Probably on a flat runway surface. Would not be able to get that speed. It's not a Lamborghini or a Mercedes or something that can get the 0 to 60 in 3.5 seconds or something. No, it's a UTV, ATV vehicle, whatever. You know what I'm saying? A Jeep. It don't run like that. But those vehicles that we had does, and they couldn't even do it. So, and they're lightweight. So the thing is, I'm saying lighter than this vehicle. So I'm saying, it is so much that defies logics. It defies common sense. And you have to actually throw common sense and logic out the window, what you see with your own eyes out the window, this crime scene, just to believe what they have to say on a black and white piece of paper. Anyway, to find out, thank you for your questions as well. Anyway, to find out what happened, what phones pings in that area around the time Daniel went missing. And I had a matter of fact. So I'm saying, you guys, this is something else I'm doing as well. I got information back from that a long time ago. I had a guy, police, law enforcement agency, and I'm saying this again to show you guys I'm not against law enforcement. I worked with a law enforcement agency outside of North Carolina in the past when Daniel first kind of went the first in 2021. And this gentleman, I'm not gonna put them out, but they have new technology that they were spawning and utilizing. And this technology is exactly what you're saying. He's trying to explain to me, so I'm not on that level to be able to explain that tonight. But he was able to, without warrants, go out and find out what phones was in that area. So he ran that, right? And not only that, that's what I'm saying. I got this too, and I'm saying this is what I'm going to put it against the Buckeyes police report as well. They said his Mal IQ showed his phone was there. But I also have a report from that says his phone wasn't there out there in that area at the time. It wasn't pinging on nothing. There was no pings coming off of that the area. Different kind of pings. It's not the same kind of pings you would get from I guess from the T-Mobile and Sprint at the time. But this is a different kind of thing. Just like you were saying, it's a different kind of form of getting cell phones that was out in that area on that day, and he didn't find anything. He said he found some that was in a different place, but not in that area where that vehicle was found in that well site outside of that day. So it gave the appearance, to make a long story short, for me that's why you guys heard me in the media saying I'm not even sure Daniel was even out there in the desert, and I'm still not sure of that. I wasn't sure that he ever made it to that second well site because it's based on. So, and I guess I did kind of release this to you guys now, but I'm telling you, I have things like that, and I was waiting for law enforcement to do those things that I have doing. I've been busting my tail, you guys, not just doing interviews and running around the desert getting flyers, but I have to do investigative stuff too. I don't get sleep. And I'm telling you guys, I have a lot of information that would be very contradictory to what the Buckeye Police Department claimed they had gotten. So I'm saying is, as them doing good work, when they said, well, the FBI said maybe they follow me or something. They said, you're doing such a great job on your own. We don't need to come in. Maybe I am. Maybe I am. I'm doing a better job than FBI and Buckeye. Maybe I am. That's what it's starting to appear to me when I start thinking about it. Because my motivation is to find my son. Their motivation is to protect themselves. Right? Oh, we good. We doing this and we did it. Y'all look here. Look at me. I'm running over here to the left. I look over here and I asked this person, John Doe, a question, and he gave me an answer. I'm just saying. I need some actually police work done, and I really feel that another outside agency to be able to look into outside of Buckeye, to look into my son case, will give us some answers, you guys. So we won't be over here for another year. I don't want to be here in 2024 saying the same thing with the Buckeye Police Department, you guys. I want to be here and we talking about how we found Daniel, and Daniel's sitting right here on this channel. We can talk about how his experiences was before we found him, and how we're helping other families and things like that. That's what I'm hoping for, you guys. And I'm going to push until we get that. And I need your efforts and your help to achieve that. So please, by all means, stick in here as a grassroots. Invite others to join in. Also, is your DNA in the CODIS database? Yes, yes, yes. And well, it should be. I know I did it through the Mr. Driscoll, Aaron, and that was because matter of fact, I think it was because of you pointed out to me. It was somebody, one of you or somebody else, pointed out to me that those things needed to be done over a year later, you guys. And I was able to reach out to Mr. Driscoll, I think is how you say his name, and then he the one facilitated after that point with the cause I told him I didn't want to go to the Buckeye Police Department to get my DNA pool or swallowed or whatever. And he's arranged with the Tempe Police Department, which I was able to go to Tempe Police Department. And he also reached out to Daniel's mother in South Carolina and had it done. They arranged to have it done there, right? But then I got a little uptight once I got to the Tempe Police Department, and they swabbing, and the officer, she put it in the thing, and she said, "Oh, we had to send this over because Buckeye requested it. We had to send this over." I was like, "Oh my God, I don't trust Buckeye with my DNA," you know. So, but nevertheless, it's part of what's supposed to be. So hopefully they did the right thing with the errands. What I'm saying, I all can go with what I hope they can at least have done that the right way. Evening, everyone. Thanks so much, Larnell, you guys. He's be here. Hopefully, again, Larnell, I'm not putting you on the spot, but I was asking you. But hopefully, you all give a word in on the 23rd as well with the panel I would have, Mr. Petito and some of the others. And so, again, Larnell, thanks so much for everything you do. You guys know Larnell, he's been on here before. He's director for the Daniel Robinson Foundation, also as well, a board member as well as an AT member. My friend, he wears many hats. You guys know before what Larnell does. He does a lot. I see a lot of people try to rebut him again in the social media. He's really been a voice out into about my son's case. But I can tell you, Larnell wears a lot of hats, and he does a lot for the community. Y'all just don't know the things that Larnell do for the community. He's had from day one when I met him through a source from a different law enforcement agency. I'm not going to name it at the time. Larnell will later. I met him through a chief of a police department that I met, and he was able to line me and Larnell together. And Larnell had been there ever since. Like I said, fighting for justice for Daniel. And then because of that, I was able to see Larnell do other things that he does, you guys. I have one person on, I'm saying, give y'all an example of people who out there to try to soar discord and say negative things about people who are actually trying to do something, right? Oh yeah, you busy spending up the foundation money and this and that, blah, 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 so on, so on, right? This is some people saying, one guy saying, and the crazy part is the foundation hadn't even collected any money yet, you guys. We're still working on the foundation. And so there were some little things put out about Mr. Farmer. And I was like, that is ridiculous. Very ridiculous. We're working on it, you guys. Eventually, we're going to be asking for some donations and things for the foundation. But we're working on the foundation and pull no donations in outside of what I was able to give the foundation. So, again, those things are crazy and ludicrous when you hear certain things out in social media world. Also, we have Tatia. Thanks so much for putting in here. June 23rd, Unity Candlelight Vigil for Daniel. Please light a candle, you guys, and take a video of it and utilizing the hashtag hashtag Unity Candlelight Vigil, and that will help. Saying with the algorithms as well as help me when I come on and highlight and share your pictures, videos, and etc. while I'm talking to these panelists that will be there on that day on those lives that I will be doing. Thank you again, Tatia. Please continue to share Daniel's story. You guys don't forget to hit that like, share, and subscribe button. That's very important. Thank you. Also, Esther Taylor. The truth is stranger than fiction. Yes, it is. And I get it. That's some lovers of Buckeye in there. And I'm saying, you know what? Had Buckeye been doing the right thing at day one, I wouldn't have been pointing out anything. Matter of fact, we was doing very well, Buckeye and myself, at the beginning before this vehicle showed up. Of course, I was doing my own investigation. Of course, I was still asking for Buckeye to be part of my search if they haven't. But those things were building up to me understanding why the Buckeye Police Department wasn't helping. They was rebutting everything I was doing and going the opposite direction, trying to prove otherwise. And, I didn't get it until the vehicle showed up. Somebody wanted that vehicle to be there where we were searching because it wasn't there before. Excuse me. All right, Barry, here we go again. Thanks so much for being here. It's odd that the LE is non-supportive. Yeah, and it is. I wish I remember the name of it. I was watching a movie, and time again, I've seen these people. They're looking for this missing person, and they walk. But what's kind of funny to me, though, when I was looking at it, I said, "What's the logic of that?" Unless a person just went missing, but they'll do flashlights, right? Whole line of people, flashlight, whole how they do, and they're looking for this person. This is supposed to be in true stories, though. But law enforcement was with them, the community out there working hard to look for this person with flashlights. Law enforcement was there with the dogs and all this action. I'm looking at that like, wow, that is amazing. I've been asking that for 49 weeks and not one time law enforcement took money and resources. The last time they came, you guys on Tempe and Maricopa County, only person showed up. Tempe came up with an excuse, Chief Anderson at the time, about some tire. Oh, it was the Buckeye Police Department sent officers out there. These officers look like Andy Griffith, you guys, and 25, I guess the guy named. You guys probably don't know. You're probably too young for this, but the Andy Griffith Show. They came out there with no gun. They were so off duty, right? No weapon. They just had a T-shirt that says Buckeye Police Department. And I said, okay, great. Well, at least they showed up. After safety briefing, we went. Make a long story, guys. We found some remains that appeared to be human. They called me, went out of the Hassayampa River bed and go check these things out. I gave Buckeye a radio so they know what's going on. These guys was out there, for some reason, sitting in the middle with their razor, sitting in the middle of the Hassayampa River, just sitting there as we was coming up the river to get to this remain. These are remains that we thought was human. And they never showed us, like, where they at? So we had to check it out, send it out, and found out there was animal remains because we had a pathologist, a person, whatever the name for it, who was coming out of ASU, Arizona State University. We had to get our own, to make a long story, but law enforcement was right there. And so we went to try to talk to law enforcement about it. Those guys was gone. As we was leaving the Hassayampa River, going back to the command post, we saw all the Buckeye Police Department guys cupcaking us, like what I call it. If they had almost like they had a cup of tea or something, they're sitting there eating whatever. And it was all, I would say, this is so useless, you guys. Are they here just to say so they can point out in a piece of paper in a report and say, yes, on January 25th, we attended search with the volunteers. And yeah, you can say you did that, but you didn't do anything. You guys, we don't need bodyguards, especially if they want to be a bodyguard, at least have a weapon on you or something. But the thing is, is that not being critical, I'm saying is to have behind stuff to make it appear they're being there for you and they're not. And that's what I'm saying. I don't like those kind of things. If there was, again, an operation of citizen looking for a law enforcement officer, all of them become gun blazing in the uniform and everything else and supportive, spending thousands like they did for the case, filling millions of dollars to look for people that went missing. It depends on who that person is. And that's the disparities that we're talking about. Ms. Petito was talking about today. He understood the disparities that goes on in the country. And he can see the difference in things like that. People don't want to admit it. These are statistically true. And, you can't avoid it. But it's the attitude. It's the attitude of not really taking things as they would. It depends on who you are and what you are. And don't take those attitudes really strongly and really go. And that's what we get to stop, man, those biases that law enforcement have when it depends on the person and how much it's going to take for and how much they're willing to put out for, how much resources they're willing to give for this person because who they are or where they're from. Homeless man died in Tempe in the river because law enforcement put their hands in the pocket because he wasn't a dog drowning. He's a human being, just happened to be homeless. Can't eat steak at that like they do that night when they went home. This guy got to probably eat out the trash can or something, but he's less human to them than a animal, and there's allowed a man to drown. So of course the community was mad and upset with that. He's a human being. He's a human being. And so I'm saying Daniel is a human being. He's a scientist. He's contributed to society. Don't have so much as a speeding ticket. You can try to criminalize them. People say negative, so they can say what they want to say. And he's a young man, made his way in life, taking care of himself, a scientist, has dreams, aspirations, you name it. And then this kind of half work that you get, but then they want you to be satisfied with that and say, "Look at me, I came out to your search," and they could write that in the paper. You didn't do anything. What did you do to contribute to the search? Did you put resources and money? No. These guys, look, they was off duty. Hey, we just assign you over there. We'll give you a couple pocket change. I don't know, maybe give them nothing. And you just come there to say you was there. Well, sure you wear that Buckeye t-shirt now when you come out there. So again, you guys, that's not what, I wanted to see them in the line search. I want to see you in the line search, utilizing your drones and your equipment and spending money in my son's in his search and with the community. And this community. And then the crazy part, you guys, when I invited these law enforcement agents, I called it on the 25th a community event, and they still didn't. Tempe still shouldn't show up. Maricopa County didn't show up. Buckeye did show up, but they didn't come up with nothing to help. So I'm saying it's a community event for everybody. They go to these community events when it comes to something they can throw to y'all on social media. Say, yeah, look at us. We're the pie eating contest with the community to bring awareness to something. I don't know. I mean, this is not a missing person, another person that needs something. I get it. We need to bring awareness to some little kids trying to be an entrepreneur and graduate from college and do something. That's great. But that's not an urgency when it comes to somebody else's life is on the line, and you need to take those. I would like to take pictures out there in a community event of search for Dan in the desert and things like that. So I'm rambling off you guys, and I'm talking, and I'm just voicing all my thoughts and things like that. So I'm just going on and on. So I'm going to stop here. Thank you, baby doll. Everybody who's out here, Barry again. How many different times the Buckeye rewrite that report? This is about the fourth or fifth time. They should be focusing on finding Daniel. Yes, they're focused on trying to make themselves look good and rebut the things I have to say to hurt their feelings and stuff. Notre Dame 97, thanks so much for being here as well. And your comment, hey all, I'm glad that you're all sharing this. Yes, and I'm going to continue to do so. Thank you, Mary Ellen, for being here as well. They probably be taking people's stashes. You already know the Buckeye Police Department have a history of this as well. One of the officers got caught, I think, something like stealing, I may paraphrase a little bit, but stealing information from civilians. A lot of corruption going on in the Buckeye Police Department. Also, we got a question here from the PM channel. Thanks so much, PM channel, for your constant support for this channel. And have you had any recent communication with Sheriff and Zone regarding taking the case, or is there still silence? No recent communication. I had a liaison between me and Sheriff and Zone. I sent that liaison a message. They don't return. So I don't know what that really means. I want to start making it appear like I'm saying something again. So I'm really working in back channels to get information to Sheriff Zone through this, what I'm doing as well, to let him know my intentions are still there, to get my son case moved over to his department. But I can't say the liaison that was assigned, I guess, to talk with me between me and Sheriff Zone no longer is taking my text messages. I tried to reach out to him. He don't reach back. So I'm assuming that communication is cut off. But that's not stopping me from still reaching out to Sheriff Zone. And thank you guys for different comments. You guys here, Larnell, I want to put what you put up here. Buckeye Police Department is in a cover-up mode. they're done more to create that fictional novel. That's exactly how I read it. Like that we said that I was up to 5 o'clock in the morning. I felt like I was reading a movie, a fictional novel. Fictional novel. They're calling a police report. Then they did trying to find Daniel. Yes, yes, and that's exactly the feel of this thing. When I was reading, especially all those. I was sitting there at night and I'll say, why they have all these fillers in there? These fillers. I'm sure so and so said this about Mr. Robinson. Oh, and so and so said this. I'm like, what did they tell? They're selling a story. I mean, they were trying to write a book or what they're doing. This is called, you know. So I'm saying this is unprecedented, you guys. The way the Buckeye Police Department is ending these things, and that was so. And I'm telling you guys, when they released that on that Wednesday, when I was about they released at the time when I was about to do the Q and this thing, you guys, that day last week. And I was bombarded by these reporters. Yeah, Mr. Robinson, can we talk to you? And sending me text messages, calling me. And I mean, it was crazy, crazy guys, the local news channels, and haven't heard from them in a long time. Some of them friends of mine, so I really appreciate what they do. What I'm saying is they hit me up really hard. Yeah, you read what the Buckeye Police said about it? I said, no, what? I ain't hearing nothing about this. They ain't even so much as call me the Buckeye Police. Yeah, we're gonna at least release the report again. They don't give a damn about families and things like that, how they can step on a family. So it's all about them, you guys. Yeah, we got them now. We're gonna listen to the report. Y'all finished? Yeah, we finished writing this, like Lionel said, probably. We finished writing this novel and we got them now. We got them by the balls, and we're gonna release it right now. We're gonna release this right here. We don't got it together now, you guys. We took it off the market for a while. We don't got it together. We put this thing together. Here you go to the public. Bam, you guys. And they probably threw us a boom. They probably threw us celebrating. Yeah, we got them now. He said we ain't did nothing. We got them. Man, please. So I'm saying is, you guys. Um, um, that's what the way I look at it. It bombarded me with questions about things that I'm like, what? Oh yeah, now we're gonna release also. I mean, this the whole thing, guys. This thing is court stuff, you guys. They release the things that one thing they released, they say from anonymous source. I almost think they hacked my phone, right? They claiming this the stuff they put out there, and they say, "Oh, this was said." I'm like, "Where it come? Where we got it from? Who you got it from? We got it from an anonymous source." What I was able to give a recording to one specific person, I know where these things went. So that means that they had to literally do something illegal to obtain something, and that's why they say, "Oh, it's from an anonymous source." No, you're not allowed to put an anonymous source in a police report if you release something to the public. You not sit there and say, "Oh, I'm hide the source of this though, but I'm gonna release everything I want to release to y'all to read, but I'm gonna hide the source of this." No, tell us the source. Just like they're hiding the other person. You guys hear about they want you to hear about Caitlyn. Oh yeah, he was in love with a woman that he didn't know. What about this other woman? Who is this other woman? If y'all so invested in find out what happened to my son, where's the camera footage when she says in her report, yeah, he was come over my house uninvited, and this didn't happen? Well, show me the camera footage. Why you didn't ask for camera footage? She said, I saw my camera. I want to see it too. I want to hear the statement from the other young lady. Her take was that night. I want to see the text message from Daniel outside of this other stuff. That yeah, we got a search history. Heck, I don't care about. I don't care. That's his private life. Why are you putting his private life where he's searching out there? I mean, what are you trying to prove? Oh, he searched the word bomb or something. Tempe, something Tempe shooting or something. Tempe shooting could be a story he heard on somebody say, yeah, you heard about that Tempe shooting. Oh man, I want to find out about this thing, Tempe shooting. I want to find out about this. But they utilize that as something like nefarious for Daniel. Oh, how do I disappear? Maybe he wanted to disappear for something. I don't know. I don't know what that means. I don't even know if that was a search history from him. You're saying this is a search history from him, and you don't know what it means, but you're putting these things together because you're trying to draw a narrative against. I'm telling you guys again, it's an attack on Daniel's character, who he is, and they're trying to prove their point. I don't care. I don't give a damn what Dad said. We're gonna get this thing out that he had a mental issue, and this is the reason why we felt like it's okay to say he's a grown man. He wanted to disappear. He wanted to disappear. He had a mental issue, and he wanted to disappear, and he wanted to join the monster there and become a monk. We're gonna prove this thing. And we're gonna prove this vehicle was for 30 days. And they've been working hard, you guys, to sell this thing to the public. It's tried to sell it to me. I'm just too clever and smart for that to happen. But they tried to sell this thing to the public, and they think they won. So if they want a hand clap, we're going to do it this morning. Let's give the Buckeye Police Department a hand clap, you guys. And thank you for all their hard work for trying to put together a case against Daniel. He had some kind of depression, and also that tried to prove the fact that they had people and have some people believe the BS that they're selling. So I just wanted to make sure you guys understand what's really going on. So we're giving them a hand clap for cleverly writing a report that's very favorable to those who looking for something centralized and talk about. Because I'm telling people, hit you up quick. Yeah, what about this thing about him saying this? And what about this? They said that you said he was in love with a woman he didn't know. And this other person say, yeah, he said something about, I mean, it sounds crazy to me. Let's talk about Daniel being missing and what you're going to do about it. Let's do that. Like Larnell said here, the Buckeye Police Department is in cover-up mode. They've done in cover-up mode. They've done more to create that fictional novel they're calling a police report than they did trying to find Daniel. And so to sell the stuff to you guys that they did so much, they spread out. And that's what I'm saying. I can't wait to get past the 23rd where I can actually take my time and show you how they spread these things. Like they can't, once they release things like they did before you guys report, they cannot take it back. That's why I got these original reports and I compared them all, and you can see the change in the falsifying and all the stuff they does, because they change paragraphs and you name it. You cannot erase things you have done already. You can try to fix it up, try to trick many people, but you cannot erase things that you have already done. So those kind of things that it makes me angry, guys. The more I'm thinking about it, it makes me more angry. And that's the stuff that families shouldn't have to go through when they're sitting here trying to find their loved ones, and yet to constantly see things like this and really start to understand what's really going on. And it bothers you as a human being to know that there's an agency out there more concerned about their own selves than they are trying to really find your loved one. And that's the kind of thing. So JC Adams, thanks so much for your question as well. I do have a question here. JC Adams, thank you again from the YouTube side. The keys that were used to drive the vehicle, where are they? I have, when I started thinking, I think I said that this morning. Was able to get access to Dane's apartment in a different way, but we never, and I had to end up changing the lock so we can get access to in and out of the vehicle. Right? I mean, out of the apartment. And to this date, the things that I'm housing, all of Daniel's things that the Buckeye Police Department gave me, that's one thing that's missing, and that is the house keys, right? I haven't seen anything. Daniel had it when they say keys to the vehicle. There was a key fob. His car is a push start. Anybody know if you got a push start, your keys go in your pockets, which I was thinking was weird. How they said they found his keys in the vehicle, and I think they said they found an ashtray in the vehicle on the side. I'm trying to figure out how he even stayed there, but nevertheless, I can't remember exactly what they said. But the keys was in the vehicle, and the key they're talking about was the vehicle keys. Now the house keys, the apartment keys, I don't know, because Buck, I haven't returned as far as I understand, I have inventory wise. There's no vehicle keys, and there's no house keys. And I definitely know there's house keys. I can probably say that probably is some vehicle keys, probably somewhere in that thing. And the reason why I think so now, just talking right now in this moment, is because Mr. McGrath was able to add power to that vehicle. I think, if I'm not mistaken, to do what he had to do in the past. So I'm assuming, maybe I'm wrong, but I think that's what he did. If not, that means that the key wasn't there. Wasn't there. But I do know he didn't ever mention any house key. Nobody was able to get in his apartment with the keys. So that's one thing for sure. Also, let me see here. Let's see if I have any more questions. I see everybody's in agreement with Larnell. Yes, I'm in agreement as well. Notra Dame 97, thank you again. I just want to put your comment up. This thing's moving slow. I give you so much praise for fighting for your handsome son. Thank you. May I add you and your family, yes, to my prayer list? Please do. Please do. I can't tell you I'm a person of faith, and I believe in prayer. And without prayer, you guys, I wouldn't be getting far. I wouldn't have met you guys without prayers. My family been praying for me as I travel um, um, here, my side of the family, and I know that's the reason why. And I know my uncle said this to me before I even reached out to the community. And it's like he saw something and he didn't. I don't know where it came from, but it's almost like he was foreseeing something. But I was at the hotel when I first got to Arizona. I didn't know how much anything costs. It was expensive trying to stay in a hotel. You guys, you can imagine. I was living out of a hotel, and that's why I had to go to the community and ask for help. I needed to be in Arizona. And he said to me, he said, um, David, as long as you got the people, you'll have power. You have power in the people. You got the people. People will help. People's going to be there. He's like telling me, he said, as long as you got the people, you have power and you get these things done. I don't know where it came from, but he did tell me that and I never forgot it. And when I was reaching out to you guys, when I first did my searches, and hundreds of people's out there concerned. So we even canceled a search one time because of rain, and and people showed up in a way. You could imagine the ones that didn't come because they canceled it. I went out there in a way, and people was out there because I went out there to make sure people they got the memo that we canceled it, to make sure nobody was sitting there waiting for no reason. And when I got there, I had no choice but to continue the search because so many people actually showed up. We don't care about the rain. We've been here in Buckeye. We know about this, blah blah blah, so on so on. But I'm saying is, from that day on to this day, you guys, like I was saying, it may have changed. Some people that was there from original probably gone, but it's been rotating, and I have new people. But ultimately, the move of the people, of you guys being persistent the way you have, and has been helping me from day one, has caused law enforcement to do the things they finally slow riding doing. You know, if it wasn't for all these efforts that I'm doing and you guys are doing as well, nothing. You think nothing would have been done. Nothing really wouldn't have been done. So I'm really pleased with that. So again, thank you. Let's see. All right, I see here's something, Aaron, Esther Taylor, you put up. I just want to put comments some here and there. A lot going on in Arizona and the nation. Hard to tell who all the players are. Though we must keep faith and discernment and move forward. Yes, we must. Also, thank you, Tati, for putting up the information again. Tip line, you guys. Do not forget the tip line. If you have a tip that can bring Daniel home, that's anonymous tip line. Stroll on the bottom is also here. You guys can remain anonymous. I pay for the service 24 hours, 7 days a week. Live operators will take your call. If you don't want to speak to anybody, you can just text the word tip to that number. Form come up, fill that out. Still can remain anonymous. Thank you again. Thank Jay Moore as well for your question. What is your thoughts about Tony and his wife? Claims they seen Daniel. Um, is it Tony and his wife? I just know that if you tell me the one I'm talking about, I think things got confused there. Tony was the one who took his wife took the picture of the vehicle sitting on the side of the road. They didn't say they seen Daniel. Believe they seen the vehicle. Now, if you tell me someone who said they seen Daniel, the second person, that was the one who claimed he was a law enforcement officer at the time, and he showed us a badge and said it to me directly. I even saw in the Buckeye Police Department falsification of the facts that that this gentleman didn't talk to me directly. He did. Matter of fact, before he talked to Buckeye Police Department, he went to my then search coordinator, who met him, because his story was, when the search coordinator brought him to me that day, Mr. Robinson, this guy wanted to talk to you. He's a law enforcement officer, a federal law enforcement officer. He showed me his badge, and he started to want to tell me what he saw that day. I was kind of busy, and I said, "Okay, give me a moment." I talked to him, and but he explained to me, this guy himself explained to me that he went to the Buckeye Police Department first to try to give them his what he saw. They ignored him. When we say he went to him, he tried to call them, and they ignored his call. They didn't return his calls, and he that's why he turned to us. He came out to the search, he said, because he was trying to get somebody to take his assessment. And so he went to, like I said, to my search coordinator, who came to me. He went He told me he was a federal law enforcement officer. I looked at him, and I'll be honest with you guys, I probably was wrong, but I judged the way he looked. And he didn't look like a federal law enforcement officer. But then I kind of tried to accept him because I said he might be some type of undercover cop or something for the federal government. I don't know. I don't know if they do. I don't know that much law enforcement to judge that. So, but this appearance, his first appearance, didn't look like one. But nonetheless, that's what he said he was. So, being that I didn't know, I had that little small suspicion. I said immediately, "Hey, look, Mr. McGrath, he was out there, of course, like I said, the equipment I paid for him and his people. And look, go talk to my investigator and tell him what you're telling me." So this guy, without putting his name, he went over there and then talked to Mr. McGrath, who him told me that he looking to a story to like, check out phone pings. This stuff Mr. McGrath was telling me. Verified that it was him. He was out there and this and that, and so on, so on. So when I had the family press conference, of course, guys, that's when I introduced it to you guys. He have yet to even, at that point, to even talk to Buckeye. Then what ended up happening, he said, "Hey," he called me one day, "Mr. Robinson, this is the gentleman that said he's seen Daniel last." Also, Ms. Robinson, Buckeye finally said they'll listen to me or talk to me or whatever the case may be. I said, "Oh, great." He said, "Yeah, I'm going out there tomorrow. They want me to meet that Detective Biffin." Okay, great. So on the way up there, he and I had a conversation. He said, "Hey, I'm going in here." And I was really concerned at the time. I didn't look at him as a suspect. I was trying to believe his story and get the information, all the information I can from him. And, he was going into the apartment. I was a little worried because I told you guys, I don't trust Buckeye at all. So this guy, he said, I feel kind of nervous going there to talk to Buckeye. I said, "Yeah, okay, just let me know when you leave and let me know what they say." So he went to the Buckeye Police Department. He told me he did. I didn't eat for about 3 days. So like, oh my God, I wonder if they locked him up or something went wrong or what the case may be. Kept calling the man's phone. He finally answered his phone. He said, "Oh man, I'm sorry. I had to go straight back to work that day and I didn't call you back." So I was able to keep communication with them. He said the Buckeye Police just took his story and that was it. That's what he told me. I was able to get more information from him to rule some things out, some things in. And that's when I told you guys this guy from social media, I can't think of his name, came out with searches with then Evan, one of the guys who was my search coordinator at the time. And because I had to leave town and I had him to continue to search for me. And this guy went out there. I think he got upset because he's trying to contact me and it's hard to get in contact with me. And he went out on social media and plastered this guy's information all over social media. I was really uptight with that because that caused this guy to shut down, and I was getting some pertinent information from him, and he shut down, and I didn't get any more information because of that, right? And that's why I was asking people at the time, please don't try and do your own investigation to a point where you're interfering with that kind of stuff we were doing because it did make things hard, and I never was able to talk to this guy again. Outside of the Tony side that you're speaking of, DJ Moore, I did get the information from him. He was also trying to reach out to the Buckeye Police Department through social media. And that's, again, they falsifying their document. And they ignored him. He kept putting it out on social media. They ignored him. And so what ended up happening, my family members were monitoring the Buckeye Police Department's Facebook page. I wasn't on social media like that. David, this guy on social media, was trying to hit Buckeye. He said he was expressing how Buckeye wasn't paying him no attention. About this picture, the picture there, the blue picture of the vehicle that looked Daniels. He says based on the picture he's seen that Buckeye put out of Daniel's vehicle, and his wife took it, put it on social media. They didn't acknowledge him, and so I called him. I mean, I hit him on the inbox. Me and him had a conversation about it. Asked him, he said no, Buckeye didn't. He definitely told me Buckeye did not take anything from him. They didn't answer him at all. So he told me, I gave him my phone number. We exchanged numbers. He gave me my phone number. We talked offline, and he told me the details of the picture. And he told me that he sent it to me, and he explained to me the impressions on the windshield. I'm telling you guys, and this is no lie, I hope I can find that recording of that as well. He described the damages that, with hindsight, we see now on the vehicle. The front end was smashed up against this tree, he said. There's impressions on the windshield, like something beat the windshield in. And that damage, what he was saying, was talking about what we see on this vehicle at the scene, right? And I definitely have those. And I said, well, so I had to go back and get those recordings and as well, if I could find that as well. Because if he said that, like I know he said, and I have those proofs of that, that was ruled out what Buckeye keeps selling to the public. And so what I'm saying is, after that point, he told me where it was at because I talked to him in that day, and he says, I told him, hey, look, I'm coming up here to see it, and I called Buckeye Police Department Detective Biffin and said, hey, I'm on the way up there to this guy was on social media saying his wife and then fucking all my folks said, that's not your son's vehicle. I was like, well, how you know that? How you know that? Well, I believe it's not your son's vehicle. I said, but can you verify that? Can you go have a cruiser go check it out? And I gave him, tell him where it was at. Can you go get a cruiser go check? Cause I'm on the way up there. And then he said, yes. Detective Biffin told me he would do that. Right? Got on the phone with Detective Biffin, called my daughter, and told her, say, hey, because she knows Daniel's vehicle. She rolled in and she's been in it. She know it better than I do. I had never seen it before. So I'm coming to pick you up. She lived in Phoenix at the time. Come to pick you up. I was in Phoenix myself at a hotel, and I said, look, pick you up. We're gonna go look at the vehicle on the way to your place. Yes, she said she can get dressed, and we're going. And as soon as I was leaving out the hotel, I get a phone call back from the gentleman. I think you said Tony, so I'm gonna say Tony because that was his name, and I know it is his name, the gentleman. And he said, the vehicle's gone. He said, Mr. Rouse, I went because he called me. Hey, the vehicle's gone. I went back out there to check, and it's gone. He said it was just here, and I went back out here to check, and it's gone. I said that's crazy. Buckeye Police Department let them know I'm on the way up there, and I told them specifically that I was going to be up there to see it, and can you please send a cruiser to look? And he said, yes. I seen the Buckeye Police Department cruiser. It passed me on the way there. And I said, okay, well, good. So I called it. Did they tell it or have it told away as I'm traveling, you guys? And did they have to tell it away? To this day, they don't give me an answer to that. He said, you check into it, never heard anything from it. Right. And then, so when I got there on the scene, my daughter and I and one other individual were there. And I did have a police friend at the time from the work for, I think, Avondale Police Department at the time, black officer and her friend. We all met there. They ended up coming out there. We was looking on the ground trying to get clues of where about this vehicle on the scene to see if it's trying to press somebody, pull a toe, try to figure some things out. I called the gentleman back. He sent his drone. He said he saw us out there in his drone, and he was trying to give me that location where the vehicle was on that corner, right? And so it was out there for a while. That's when these guys, this pickup truck full of white guys, come pass by us. As my daughter sat back in the vehicle, she got tired, and God, she did, and it was called the N-word. All out in broad daylight in Buckeye, call us that. And that's when the black officer told us, say, hey, this area here is known as a sundown town, Buckeye, and you need to get you and your family out of here before it turns dark. So, okay, great. And we end up doing that. But the point is, I was saying, you guys, the thing is, the vehicle was gone. And then 2 days later, I get a call from the Buckeye Police Department saying, oh, your son's vehicle showed up in the desert and blah, blah, blah. So but they told the rancher who said he found it, whatever you do, he told me this, and I got this all recorded stuff. You got testimony from the rancher. Don't alert the media about this, and don't tell the family. Don't alert the family. And he said him and his wife was wondering what was going on because had it been their child, they would want to know. I'm a man that's out there with volunteers, hundreds of people trying to rescue Daniel, and they felt like they didn't want to keep the secret that the vehicle showed up in the desert. And not only on top of that, when I addressed them about it, Detective Biffin, why y'all didn't tell me and bring me out there and let me know about this vehicle being found? And his reply on a recorded call is because we didn't want to disturb your sleep. Really? That made me more angrier than anything else. What you mean? What the hell you think I'm sleeping and I'm out there every day and on weekends searching for my son, sometimes on weekdays? And you know this. When you know me to be sleeping and my son is missing. So and it's the disrespect, you guys, from this department. They had the courtesy to even bring me in the apartment, sit me down. He met me in the parking lot, threw it against his roof, his hood of his car, and with two maps and a picture, and describe what's going on. Then take me out there, find out what's going on, whatever the case may be. Disrespectful, and then came with the monk story. I'm saying, you guys, and then they denying it. They can easily deny, well, I ain't said that. I ain't said it. And I'm sure Sheriff Zone and the rest of law enforcement, whoever, only because he got a blue shirt on, black shirt, whatever Buckeye uniform looked like, he's telling the truth versus what a family member heard out of. I don't have no reasons to lie, especially at that time when I'm finding out information. I'm relying on law enforcement to give me answers. I wouldn't be making up no story. Oh, they told me that Daniel joined a month, maybe join a monk or about some animals. So what reason I would have to make those results and say it to me? I would forget it. I'm a man who's going through pain and suffering, trying to find my son, and this is the kind of treatment that I have gotten from the Buckeye Police. It hurts, man. Every time I think about it, a lot of times things that were said, and these low flying helicopter they come on, this vehicle showed up. Hold your hands up and touch the bottom. Man hanging out the window. He's, just like they're doing this report. He was selling me some superhero thing. Oh, the man was hanging out the window, hanging out the door, and like I said, you raise your hand, touch the bottom. He's hanging out the door, looking, said we could find your son with a helicopter. I mean, like, really? And you're telling me this thing, and I don't know. I'm not the kind of mind that would take things like that and just for face value. Um, and I'm not a mind to look at this report for face value, and it's because they wrote it and they name is Buckeye Police that they're telling the truth. No, I need to see evidence. I see evidence, and the reason why I say that because you look at their history, and I'm sure when they falsified those reports, it was on the report, and I guarantee you, a lot of people believed it until they couldn't believe it when they got caught for falsifying that report. Oh, they'll get caught again if they're doing that. And I'm saying is, guys, that's a history, and if you look at it, a person who's the chief of that lie of falsifying crime statistics is still there, and his name is Chief Larry Hall, still there, still head of that department. The head is the department is soured by the head. The head is if the head is a piece of crap, then the whole department is because he's leading it. You know what I'm saying? So you can't change the zebra, don't change the stripe. That's what he does. He got caught the second time having business dealings that's illegal for being a chief of police, and they still got him there. And the FBI listened to a chief that says these things are true, and they take it for face value. I don't, you guys. I don't take nothing in the Buckeye Police Department for face value based on their history. I have to ask these questions. I have to not. I'm not reporters looking for a story to sell, a tell, or whatever. And that's the end of Daniel Robinson. No, I'm not. I'm not that person, and I will never be. And I'm saying, you guys, I'm going to continue to fight until Daniel is brought home to me and my family. I'm not going to stop fighting for his rights and his justice, especially when I see BS as I'm seeing and things that just don't make sense to me. Until things start adding up, I will not be able to support anything that Buckeye said. You know what? Look, guys, thank you, Todd. I'm gonna say your name correct. Triathlete. Thank you so much for the super chat and coming out of New York. I truly appreciate you, and I appreciate your gesture of love. It really means a lot to me when I see things like that. It definitely makes me want to keep going. Thank you, Boss Man Blake as well. You have been also doing a lot with Mr. John Q. I truly appreciate you being here this evening as well. Tara Dean, thank you so much. Also, Kim Holmes, thank you again. You guys, I see these comments as well. I wish I can get all of them. I passed my 2-hour mark. Matter of fact, I'm 30 minutes over. I see these numbers starting to trail. Local people know it's time for me to get off. Sometimes it's get long-winded, and I just keep going because I have so much to say. But you know what? Thank you, Barry, for being here again. Shame on Buckeye PD for trying to assassinate victims and characters. And they've been doing that from day one when they highlighted that one section about this young lady in a second report and gave it the third report, I'm sorry, and they gave it out to the public. That's when they say, oh, because of the public interest, they're doing that. Because of the public interest, we're releasing this report. And when they released it, that reporter came to me with a highlighted spot about this young lady. And that's when they first started getting the meeting. You guys first heard about it. And I say, why did you highlight that? I said, no, that's the way they gave it to me. They highlighted this one section. And I told that reporter, I said, that is character assassination. They was trying their best to because they asked him what I thought about it. I said, I don't know if this valid about this. If this woman is a suspect or not, this young lady by their age or not. I try to stay away from it as much as possible. And so I had enough information to say anything left or right about Caitlyn. But I can say the way that they are putting her, allow her to upload her own hearsay text messages in their report. That says a lot to me about Buckeye. You know what I'm saying? So she can change it, and you guys can look at it. I think Miss Carlight pointed out, you guys, everything had a timestamp. If y'all guys look at this report, I'm gonna go through that too again as well. Y'all need to pay attention. I'm telling you guys, these things make a lot of sense. You can see what Buckeye Police Department does. The later upload of stuff, everything had a time set. For instance, say like today, June 7, 2023 at 8:03 p.m. The time it is now, right? David Robinson, and they have David Robinson, and they have colon, and they have the message what I wrote, right? Then it says, it repeat itself. Such date, blah blah blah. At 80, it's 8:04 now. The person replied, whoever John Doe said this, and it went on, right? But then if y'all look really closely, this is where things start changing. Nothing match. I'm telling you, the report of the and when I put the phone record, it don't report those, or don't match all those tests. Something missing. A lot of things missing. And when you read it, then you start seeing it saying Monday, and that's it. This blah blah blah. This blah blah blah. So and so, and it keep going down with no timestamp. Like somebody just added in the rest, right? And he says the world will be a better place and this and that and so on, so on. You know, all this kind of stuff. But the timestamps start disappearing, you guys. If people don't know something, I'm saying they centralize the case and they want to hear this thing. Man, he was in love with this woman he didn't know. And this is not about the case. This is about my son's missing. Who did it? Who's involved? Not him being in love with some woman he didn't know he wasn't. But it's not about this, not about that. They wanted to be, because they wanted to assassinate his character, who he is. And I told her, if he come around again, you can call somebody and you can have him arrested. She's not a victim. This lady let this man in her house that she didn't know to spend the night with him and her girlfriend, a friend, whoever she is, that we just don't know. And I told my son when I talked to him, that was a dumb move. You just don't do that. You don't go spend the night with women you don't know like that, being in their house. That's a dumb move. Him to be such a brilliant young man. He's young, of course. But she's not a victim. She's the one let him spend the night at her house and sleeping with him and all kind of stuff. That's her. That's what my son told me. So the thing is, I'm saying, you guys, she's not the victim. Daniel is the victim. So of course, I'm saying those character assassinations. They might be mad because he was spending the night with a white woman. I don't know what Buckeye's mad about. It could be that. Shame on Buckeye Police Department for trying to assassinate victims' characters, and as well as I have Terry Dean. Thanks so much for your question. I remember Ken saying he and Daniel waited for a storm storm to pass before he went missing. Exactly. What was confirmed? Did the clothing appear to have rain on it? He said it rained before he went missing. Now, so I'm gonna back up on that, Terry Dean, as well. And this is what I take from it. He tells a lot of different stories. He go on. I'm glad we started doing interviews because he starts telling different stuff. And what he did, he told me that it was raining. I mean, it was about to rain, and they look at it. He had a conversation with Daniel, say, "Hey, you want to close the site down because it's going to rain?" And he said, "No, I'm going to wait till the sail pass or something. I believe the sail going to pass." No, basically about the weather. I'm paraphrasing though. And then the next time he said it was already raining, and the rain just washed all the tracks away. It was raining, everything raining, and all the other people tire tracks being washed away as they were standing at the well site. So when Daniel left, I knew it was his tracks because everybody else's tracks being washed away. So you can't have it both ways and say it been washed away and that was just Daniel tracks. And then at the same time said you were just talking about, in one instance you said you was talking about the weather and it ain't rained yet. Then you said it was raining after that point, after Daniel left. It rained a little, but it may highlight his tracks. So it's like so many contradictions on his story when it comes about the rain and the weather app and all the stuff. And that's Buckeye, just like they accept the second guy that say he's seen Daniel's story. They told me in January, February of 2022, they accepted the story and they validated it. And now they all of a sudden, because they asked me 3 weeks ago what I think, and I give them reasons why I don't believe this guy's story. And they put in their report they don't believe the story and they don't add up and all this. They gave y'all exactly what I told Detective Biffin on the phone a few weeks ago. But the thing is, um, they validated his story. Obviously, there's one guy that seen my son at that well site, Ken. And but to go back to what you're saying, the clothing on the ground, I didn't examine. My investigator here examined it. Of course, I told you I haven't been touching near this evidence, but I did see the video and things he showed me and told me about. But as it appears to being wet and stuff like that, I don't think it was wet because when he pulled those things, sometimes I guess things get kind of been sitting there for 30 days and it's wet and dirt getting all over it. You ever seen like how things and it been in the sun? Think about this, guys. When they lift it up, it would have been sticking together. Like the clothes, let's say, it been folded flat like this. When you try to pick it up, a little piece might pull up, but the whole thing come up like this, right? That's because it's been wet and it's been sitting there for 30 days. But because it wasn't, when you lift it, it is fall apart. Just like you do if you pick a clothes out of pile at your laundry bag, it is come loose, and those are able to dig in the pockets or whatever they had to do. He was on the video, Mr. McGrath. So that's again, I'm glad you said that because science, again, it defies the logics and things that Buckeye want to try to sell to you because it don't make sense. I guarantee you, I might do that as well. Show you an example. Get some clothing, put it on the grounds, and sit it outside for 30 days, and let it rain because it rains or whatever. And then once it dries, and you collecting these items, and show you how these clothing would be ironed in that position, in the sense, and it stays flat like that. And so I look at things like that make sense, and these are things based on this living common sense stuff that you see happen all the time. Dirt and stuff getting on this clothing, it's like starch. The dirt become like starch, and the sun's pressing down on it's wet. The dirt getting into the clothing, the sun pressing down on it, and bleach it, and also make it stay in that position. So that's what I'm saying, you guys. And it didn't. These things wasn't in those positions. And so I'm saying is that also said the vehicle, that the clothing wasn't there, or the vehicle was there for 30 days. So those are science. We're scientists in my family, and we look at things on the science level. Also, you guys, let's see, I got something from, I think that was Terry Dean. Let's see, I think I probably missed this. Okay, now I already have this. Okay, DJ Moore. Question here. Thanks so much for questioning. Oh, that's exclamation point. It's a statement. Okay. In the second report, you are correct about them. They said they took a picture, but it was a poor quality picture. Yes. Yes. And it was a poor quality picture. Point as well. Let's see here. My bad. Tony gave the statement that his wife seen Daniel out by Jet Rabbit Road. Well, actually, um, I don't know. I haven't heard from him and his wife saying they seen Daniel, but they seen the vehicle. That's what I'm saying. Tony verified the picture, gave the blurry picture of the vehicle. So if that's something else, because I haven't fully finished that report, because now saying Tony said he seen Daniel. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you guys, you got to think about this now. I've been talking to Tony. Matter of fact, he even came to the search. I can tell we worked for it at the time, but I'm not. And because he's out the searches. But why would he in 2023 all of a sudden say, "Oh, his wife"? Hey, we had a sight of Daniel all over there by Jet Rabbit Road, and if Daniel was out there by Jet Rabbit Road, that would make sense in a certain sense because he had the first well site is over that area, and so he had to be over there. And I'm telling you guys, to get to that vehicle location where it was found on the side of the road, you literally had to pass that spot. When you leave that first well site, you had to pass that spot to get out of there, and you had to pass that spot to get in there. So it's reasonable to understand that's not coincident. A vehicle that looks exactly like Daniel's, have a shape, happen to be on the same road at this well site to get to the well site and get out of the well site, happen to be on the same road on the side of the road with these damages that matches what we know now, and it is there, and then all of a sudden it disappeared, and 2 days later, so somewhere. You got to ask yourself these questions. How ironic is that? How ironic is that something like that? Somebody have something that looks similar to a Jeep Renegade, 2017 Jeep Renegade. Just happened to be sitting on the side of the road with the damage. The same. How ironic is that? So and it happened to be on a road that you have to pass by. And I didn't find that out until I was doing my investigation. You guys, I did some searches with a specialized search, and that I'm going to be doing as well again coming soon. You guys, a few good people, no more than 30 people, probably less, who will do the specialized search. I'm also going to have a regular desert search because I do have some agreement with the Howard Hughes Corporation to allow me to do one more search. Again, like I said before, and I'll be able to cover those areas that we last met. So after this visual, guys, a lot of movement will be going on, and I hope you guys are able to help support me in these efforts. Again, for some reason I'm letting you guys go, and I need to be off of here, and I just keep going, and I see all these comments, you guys. Um, I see all the comments, and I really appreciate it. I do see that this last comment from Barry. So thank you so much, Barry, for your last comment. Don't forget to hit the like, share, subscribe button, you guys. That will help. And I will tell you again, I will be back, and I'm working on this website to put the Unity Candlelight Vigil up again for the information how you guys can help. And don't forget the Petito, Mr. Petito will be part of that event as well as some other families. So they definitely want you guys to be a part and help us spread the word for other missing loved ones and families. And I'll put one more thing here that I see, but things for missing families and things like that. So the information I talked about is on page 31 of the second report. Oh, I'm noticing the difference between the reports. It's hard. It's just hard when the report contradicts itself, and it is. And I can tell you, you haven't seen nothing from the second report. You got to see the first report as well. They literally change a whole paragraph to fit this narrative that this vehicle was there for 30 days, far before the evidence. So I don't know why they really want it there for 30 days, but they're doing it. But anyway, you guys, again, thank you again, Aaron, and thank you, everybody. Thank you, Barry, for moderating and being here. And I hope you guys have a wonderful night. Thank you, Aaron, for putting that Unity Candlelight Vision, guys. Don't forget hashtag. I hope you guys have a wonderful night. Thank you for sitting here this long with me. I've been going overboard. I have a lot on my mind, a lot that I have to take care of. I have interviews after interviews. So, this fight for Daniel is not over, you guys. This effort is not over. And I need you guys to keep continuing to support and help me. Talk to you next time. Wonderful night. Apologize. I have been, I'll tell you again, I'm tired. So I'll say good night, you guys. Thank you so much. I'm pushing all kind of wrong cues, and I know that's definitely the cue that I'm tired. So take care of yourself. Good night. Okay.